Oh man, so we're back here on the Undisputed GOAT podcast, man. And look, man, it's been a very exciting day, man. A very exciting weekend of football, man. Had a lot of upsets on college football weekend. As you all know, Alabama just would not be denied against the Georgia Bulldogs. It's been a hell of a weekend, and we're right here right now to recap everything. So without further ado, man, welcome to the Undisputed GOAT podcast. I am your host and co-founder, the Undisputed World Champ, with my co-founders, Flash, live from Wisconsin, and my fellow DSGB, down South Georgia boy, the gentleman of Georgia, BRF. How y'all doing this evening, man?
I'm fantastic. Eating some sun chips and drinking some soda. Had a good weekend. Packers already scored. They're up 7-0, so I will take it.
You know you look like Craig Daddy eating them damn chips like that when he was on Friday at the beginning. Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen. That's what you look like right now.
Eating up all the food.
All the chicken, all the collard greens, all the hog maw. That's what you look like right now. And you eating sun chips. Which kind you eat? The sour cream and onion or the
I want some of them chitlins. I like pig feet.
What the how you eat the dry ass chips, man? I can eat the sun chips. I just can't eat the original one. There's some dry ass chips.
Really? Oh, I love sun chips, dude.
I love sun chips too, but not the plain ones.
My favorite flavor is the harvest cheddar.
Yeah, the harvest cheddar. Yeah. So
like
yeah, the harvest.
So she goes because she likes the regular ones like I do. And she's like, and they were on sale on it, and I was like, have you tried the harvest cheddar? And she's like, no. I'm like, oh, you'll love those. Those will be your favorite chips. What's up, dude?
Shout out to the Wayne, DC.
All right, DC.
So, man, look, without further ado, let's get right into it, man. We had a lot of exciting sports this weekend: WNBA, NFL, NC2A, you name it, man. So I got to ask y'all this, man. We go with the quick hits so far. The quick hits. Who is the GOAT performer of the week?
You go first, Flash.
Why you gotta throw it to me like that? All right. My GOAT performer. Hold on one second. I want to verify something. So I've been a busy man today. I'm sorry, I'm not prepared. Man. Oh, I'm going to say the Minnesota Twins.
Nice.
The Minnesota Twins are my GOAT performer of the week. They saved the Brewers' ass from losing that one seed. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to my state to the west, my neighbor state, Minnesota. Thank you, my little Twinkies, for saving our season. I appreciate you. Also, shout out to my my stepsister and her husband that live out there. Yeah, thank you again. So that's my MVP of the week.
As far as mine, I got a WWE one, but I'm gonna save it because there were a lot of really, really good performances today in the NFL. The one that I feel like the one that kind of sticks out to me, I was about to say Bijan Robinson, but then Matthew Stafford showed up today. He is my dark horse MVP pick. I am running with it. The dude threw for like 370 yards or whatever, 3 touchdowns. Got another win against the Colts. I mean, I don't look. Matthew Stafford, I have as still a top 5 quarterback in the league. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business when it comes to that. Matthew Stafford is still top 5 in his league. And I said it in the chat. The reason why I have him over Justin Herbert is because I trust him more in bigger situations. Because like between him and Justin Herbert, you can kind of pick and choose which one you want, which one you want in rankings. I personally think Matthew Stafford's still a little better because I think Matthew Stafford is a little bit more of a clutch quarterback than Justin Herbert. But that's just my opinion. Justin Herbert been lights out this year. Don't get it wrong. First 4 weeks of the year, he's definitely one of the MVP front runners. But I got to go Matthew Stafford with the way he played today and willing the LA Rams to a big win, a much needed win against the Colts team I actually picked to win this game, and they almost came through for me. But shout out to the LA Rams for getting that dub. My WWE one, I got to shout him out because he is building so much more momentum as his career is progressing. I'm going one young OG Javon Evans because he had himself a hell of a weekend. SmackDown puts on arguably the best match of Sami Zayn's U.S. title reign so far. I'm talking about banger. If y'all ain't watched it, go watch it. Sami Zayn and Javon Evans tore the house down Friday night. Then he goes out. And on NXT No Mercy last night, kicks the show off with Josh Briggs, has another banger, wins that one, another banger. And on top of that, even though he didn't wrestle on the TNA pay-per-view, even though he didn't wrestle on it, he's got a match at Bound for Glory against Leon Slater for the X Division Championship, which is like an X Division dream match. So I got to shout out the homie Javon Evans. He put in some serious work this weekend, and his career is progressing, and he's only going to get better. It would not shock me at all if he's on the main roster by next year's SummerSlam. Wouldn't shock me a bit.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to PSP. Everybody remembers the George Chitlin's joke on Friday. That was hilarious. That was very hilarious. DC, we're gonna get to the Baltimore Ravens a little bit later. He will say the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. They did a hell of a job today against Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. Cannot argue with that. I have two for the day. Number one on my list, and I'm going to go the unconventional route. I'm going to go with the WNBA, but here's my GOAT performer of the week, Aaliyah Boston. Boston. Because for her, and I'm reading the stat line right now, and I watched the game, for her to have 24-14, and 5 against Asia Wilson. Keep that in mind. You had 24-14, and 5 against the GOAT herself. And she was holding her own. She was bodying Asia Wilson. I mean, so for you to have that great of a game, to force a game 5 in your own stadium, for you to step back to Las Vegas, that's short of amazing. I got to give her props for that because everybody pretty much thought the game was over at this point. Everybody pretty much thought the game was over. So, yeah, I have to give Asia Wilson her props. I have to give Aaliyah Boston, Asia Wilson. I got to give Aaliyah Boston her flowers on that one because, like I said, anytime you can dominate the GOAT, mind you, Asia just won the Defensive Player of the Year and the MVP again this year. So for you to put up 24-14 and 5, that's spectacular. So big ups to Aaliyah Boston for helping the Indiana Fever push it to game 5, one game away from the WNBA finals. Another one. I'm coming home. Bijan Robinson. Don't be surprised if he go for 1,000 this year. Don't be surprised if that happens. I can smell that happen. You know what I'm saying? Just like how Eddie Murphy did on Beverly Hills Cop when he was with that with the other cop. I can smell a cop when I see what he. Yeah, that's how much I can smell. I can smell that 1,000 feet from a mile away. So, yeah, with that being said, I think that it's Bijan Robinson and Aaliyah Boston for me, man. Hell of a way to perform today.
Honestly, if you really wanted to, we haven't done it yet this year. You could shout out that entire offense for the Atlanta Falcons and what they did today. Penix put up 313 yards and 2 touchdowns. Drake went for 8 and 110 and a touchdown. Kyle Pitts went 5 for 70 and a touchdown. Bijan went 181 all-purpose yards. I think it was like 75 rushing, 106 receiving or something like that in a touchdown. You can shout out that entire offense today. They finally, you finally saw the ceiling as far as what they could be this year.
Yeah, you finally saw that. I mean, it was nothing short of spectacular either. Because that was. The performance from last week from this week, it's like it was a 360 turnaround. It was great.
But I said it on PSP's podcast. I don't do I told you so as much. But what was going on in that game that wasn't going on in Carolina that made a huge difference? And I think Zach Robinson coming down out of the booth on the sideline had a lot to do with it. They were more creative in their play calling, and they let Michael Penix push the ball down the field.
Yes, indeed. Hey, articulate that ball down the field. Hey, I know I ain't the only one that noticed. Doing like late in the fourth quarter, they don't give Bijan the ball that often. They give it to Tyler.
That's the smart move because Tyler because he's the grinder, he's the closer. And that's the smart move. Tyler Algier is the closer. He's the one you want in the fourth quarter because he's going to tire out that defense. Like he's going to grind them out. He's the one you want in the fourth quarter. I mean, you play on both because Bijan he still has that home run ability. But Tyler Algier, like late in the game, that's the one I want to give it to late in the game because he's going to ground that defense down. That's who you want in the fourth quarter.
Yes, indeed. Hell of a job. Damn, the referee looked like Jason Whitlock, though. Yeah. Jason, I thought you were a reporter, not the referee.
Boy.
He gonna stop them players and start giving them a speech. But just
make better calls and he give takes sometimes and we'll be okay.
Exactly. All right. Let's I do emphasize thus far. Like I say, thus far, we're still covering the Green Bay versus Dallas game and seeing how that turns out right about now. As of right now, Trayvon Diggs has been benched. So let's see how that turns out. For this game?
It's related to his hamstring injury. They're gonna rotate him in and out as the game progresses. It's related to the hamstring injury, but that's pretty much what it boils down to. Why he didn't start?
Mm-hmm. Oh man, so I would ask it. All right, so who's the team to watch after week 4? And like I said, I do emphasize as of right
now. I mean, we're gonna take out the usual suspects here. But no, we're not gonna take out the usual suspects because after their performance today, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, to be as injury riddled as they've been on their offense, but yet they're about to get everybody back because this is the one thing I was kind of forewarning about the Kansas City Chiefs. You never ever. They are this generation's New England Patriots. I mean, they just are. You never ever rule them out, no matter what they got going on in the regular season. So now their defense is playing well. They're about to get Rashee Rice back, and they put a 30. Well, I mean, Baltimore's defense is trash so far this year, but they put a 37 on them today.
That's okay. I not last week that was on, but the week before, I thought Kansas City was done. I'm not saying done as in like, they're not going to ever make the playoffs again, but I think them as the dominant force in the league right now. I think they are done. I still Lamar Jackson went out with an injury and didn't come back. 2, Baltimore's defense is just atrocious and garbage. So I'm not on the let's crown him again bandwagon. And as much as I've been touting the Mahomes thing when it comes to I was on that island with you too. Like, don't ever count him dead. It is Mahomes and Andy Reid, but I need to see a little bit more because honestly, they've not played well for like a year and a quarter. Like, they haven't played like the Chiefs in a while. And this was a little bit of it, but I still think I need more. I need a little bit. All right, like that's fine. You got your act together for a week, and maybe this is their Chiefs moment, because the Patriots were on their way out in 2014 when they got smoked by the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Everybody thought that the Patriots were done, and they came out next week, and and there was everybody's infighting and blah blah blah, and they got together and they won. Brady won his 4th Super Bowl that year. So maybe that's it. Maybe last week and Kelsey blowing up and everything else, maybe it kind of whipped them all into shape. But I still need to see a little bit. I need a little bit more consistency. Let's see what happens after this week. That's just my opinion, because they've been really bad and inconsistent for like a year, for a while now.
I feel you on that, but we also have to remember there is enough of a resume to say that they're about to get it together.
Yes, I don't disagree. Like, I disagree with you, but I understand where you're coming from, because I was on that island too. I'm just putting together. I'm not putting together just this season. Even the year they won the Super Bowl, not last year, but the year prior, they limped to that Super Bowl. That offense was like getting by on its basically on Mahomes. And then they played the same way last year, and they were winning close games just by, just because they know how to win, Mahomes and everything. The game was being kept close. And now, like, the offense, now this is the first time we've seen the offense actually do normal Chiefs things. So I just want to see it. I want to, like, 2014, New England had that moment, came out, beat the Bengals on Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football, and then they went and rattled off a bunch of wins in a row. So, like, let me see. Let me see what happens. But let's, don't get me wrong. If all of a sudden they rattle off 10 in a row, I'm not going to be shocked. I'm not going to go, well, who saw this coming? So I just want to see it. I think that's my thing. Everybody's been wanting to crown them as the new Patriots. I was on that island for a while, but I'm at the point right now, like, all right, let me see it.
If you want to,
but I mean, they were able to be creative on offensive game because they got Xavier Worthy back, and then they're about to get Rasheed Rice back. I'm just saying, who in the AFC right now, outside of Buffalo, could go into Kansas City right now and give them a game in a big time situation? Who would you trust outside of Buffalo?
Number one, Buffalo. Hey, look, Buffalo and Buffalo alone this year, because the thing is, they're doing something different this year. And you know what they're doing different this year?
They're giving it to James Cook.
They're letting James Cook, that Georgia Bulldog, they're giving him the ball 20 times a game now, over 20 times a game. So, hey, look, I would just be real. When I got a running back like that, you ain't no good. You ain't no good to your team if your ass on the sideline. I'm just being real. You're no good to your team if you're on the sideline, and that's what they get a good job of doing. Every time James Cook has that ball, he has breakaway speed, and he can milk that clock. No pun intended. So Buffalo has a great chance this year. And thank y'all, Buffalo Bills Mafia. Shout out to y'all, yours truly. Thank you for beating the hell out of the Apes so they can shut the hell up for a couple weeks. So, I mean, 0-4. I can't
let me tell you something. That to me, the Saints game isn't the biggest, bro. This is a week-to-week league. What in the heck happened to the Carolina Panthers today? That's laughable. That should tell everybody this is a week-to-week league. Us as Falcons fans had to see it, had to hear it all week. We got 30-0 by the Carolina Panthers. They went to New England, and New England basically sunned them today. Sunned them. 42-13 sunned them. This is a week-to-week league.
I got some breaking news, guys. I apologize. I know this is football season, bro, but I got
No, talk to me. What's up?
I got huge news coming out of college basketball on the women's side. Juju Watkins will miss the entire season next year to rehab her ACL injury.
Ooh.
Damn.
Honestly, oh boy.
It doesn't look like that ACL healed correctly, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think
now the question I asked though. Well, hold on. What is it? They have to stay all 4 years in women's college basketball?
I think so, yeah.
I think it's protecting me.
But
yeah, you got to protect. You got to protect her. You do have to protect her.
I don't think it's to rehab her knee. I think she's protecting the herself.
I think she is. I think she is too.
Unless there was complications from the surgery, which there could be. I just think she's protecting herself. That's it.
Yeah, that's wow. I did not expect that shit. Sorry for my language. Y'all daughters ain't around it.
No. Oh no, okay. Man. My daughter's home.
Okay, no, y'all know me. I don't like to cuss around the mamas and the daughters, so you all know me. But yeah, that's some shit that I definitely didn't expect. That was damn. Wow. You got to wonder how that's going to affect the viewership of college basketball at this point, because Juju was the wow. Oh, yeah. Another announcement. Super Bowl. Bad Bunny will be performing at the Super Bowl this year.
I can get down with that.
Yeah.
I rarely ever watch the halftime show anyway, so I don't.
I do. I do. I've always had a soft spot for the halftime show because there have been some really good ones. So I still have a soft spot. I'm cool with Bad Bunny performing a halftime show. I'm actually cool with that.
Yeah, he's been all over the place. I'm fine with it. Been at the WWE, everywhere. So I mean, he's a big name.
Bro, yeah, because he's arguably like the greatest celebrity wrestler they've had. So. Hey, shout out to him for getting that spot, because that's one of the most coveted spots you can get as a musician. It's a Super Bowl halftime show. So shout out to the homie Bad Bunny.
I'm still stuck on that Juju situation, man. So damn. So with Juju out, I know this is the biggest pipe bomb probably ever. With Juju out, who do you watch at this point? It's like, is it going to be Flage? Is she's going to be the main star of the NC2A at this point?
You got her. You got her. You got Malaysia for Wiley. You still have you still have Olivia Miles. I mean, you still got players. I mean, it'll hurt a little bit, but I still think the overall outlook for college basketball is still really good as far as the women's side. So I still think they're going to get their viewership.
Yeah, damn, that is.
I think there's enough of a bump in women's basketball in general that'll transfer over.
Exactly, I agree with 100% agree with Flash. Yeah, that man, but that's terrible news, bro. I gotta ask this question, and I'm gonna go first on this one. Who's the walking red flag for the rest of the season? I gotta say Geno Smith, because sometimes I just because sometimes, why the hell are y'all laughing? I ain't even said that yet. But sometimes I just want to look at him just like Major Payne looked at that guy and say, "Damn, what's the matter? You can't see either." Because damn, how the hell do you throw 3 interceptions in a game? You barely had over 100 damn yards. The hell is going on with you, Gino? They gave you all that money, but they need to have you arrested for robbery. Damn.
Yeah.
Just damn. He is a walking red flag, bro. 3 interceptions. Him and Joe Flacco, walking red flags for the rest of the season. They need to hurry up and get him the hell up out of Cleveland, because that's nasty. You have 6 picks.
Okay, so then
you have 6 picks in less than 4 games.
Do you start Shador at this point?
You start no,
You start
no, no. You start
no.
you start Dylan Gabriel first.
Okay, I'm just curious. I think you start either. Yeah, you start.
Yeah.
You
Well,
start
Gabriel's the backup, so you have to go to him as far as the depth chart. Gabriel's the backup.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to go to Gabriel first, and then if he doesn't pan out, then you go to Sador, and if all else fails, you go to the West Coast and go get Mr. Marcus back, and he can come play football. So, yeah.
My walking red flag. I have two of them. One is the Chargers. I was starting to be a believer in this team and Herbert. I thought they were going to start to take the next step into, Herbert's, banging Madison beer. He just seems like he's got the hair flowing. It seems like he's just got it going on. And they just drop an egg against the Giants. Like, there's no excuses at all. Neighbors went out with a possible ACL injury. Prayers up to him. That really sucks. I hope that's not the case, but for when it looked like it is. My other red flag is the fake rubber turf. It's got to go. They got to go back to natural grass. These rubber turfs have been the bane of knees' existence since they were installed, and they have to go. They have to go. I'm sorry, but they have to go. Yeah, they just do. They're terrible turfs. They're bad on knees. They don't no support. And I think it's time to I think it's time to be mandatory to do natural grass. That's just my opinion on that.
Yeah, I think they need to get rid of that rubber turf. I mean,
yep.
It's better. Well, it's better than the old Veteran Stadium turf. I will say that damn much. You remember they canceled a Monday Night Football game because that damn turf was so bad.
Don't get me started on the old Philly turf. Jesus Christ.
That shit was nastier than yeah. Yeah. You know that old corned beef hash that you used to get from the bottom of the shelf when you used to go to the Piggly Wiggly? Yeah, that not Hormel's, but the one that was below that. That the old ass corned beef hash, about 3 days old. But that's how that you laugh because you know what I'm talking about.
Damn. That's oof. Jesus.
Yeah, that's that corned beef hash that you didn't really touch. So yeah. That is nasty. NFL rookie with the best coming out part of the day.
Wait, hold on. I didn't answer that question. My walking red flag.
No,
you good. No, you straight. Gosh. Bryce Young. I mean, what more? I mean, I tried to get after that second half, I tried to give him a benefit of the doubt. I mean, he looked confident. He looked like the competent quarterback. He played against good teams in the second half and did work. And he's just come out this year and just like Carolina's got to be in a situation now. Like, what do we do? Like, do we tank for 26? Like, what do we do? What do we? And of course, it's Trayvon Diggs. Go figure. Of course, it's Trayvon Diggs. It doesn't. Of course, never fails. But yeah. For me, I think is honestly Bryce Young because now Carolina's like in a position now. It's like we really have no choice but to ride with him for the rest of the year. But then after this year, like what do we do? Do we draft a quarterback in 2026? I mean, what do we try to give him one more weapon to see what he can do? Because right now, Ted McMillan is all he's got. But I mean, it's like, good God, man. I mean, how do you go from looking the way you did in the second half, especially playing against some good teams, to looking like you did your rookie year again, and honestly worse? So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do if you're Carolina at this point. I have no idea what you do. You're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Hey, you got to start wondering, man. Look, and I hate to say this, but you know where I'm going to go with this. It seems like I don't think it's the players. I think it's the regime. I don't think
Yeah.
that owner or that regime knows what the hell they're doing. And I really think that if Bryce Young leaves, he has the potential to be like a Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, because he has no development there. There's no development there for him. I mean, you saw how Baker Mayfield faltered when he was there. You saw how Sam Darnold faltered when he was there. Now it's Bryce Young. So it's like now, granted, you have to be a good player as well, but I don't blame him for all of his woes. There's a lot of things that needs to happen in Carolina. And if you ask me, like I stated, I hate to say this because of the things that happened during his regime, but the Carolina the Panthers were in
She's
better
a good
shape.
name. It's a good name.
But
I mean, and then it's a shame too. Yeah, I mean, and it's a shame because the way they did us last week to how they look this week is like,
yeah. It seems like they were in better shape when they were when Jerry Richardson was the owner. I mean, I know
I'm for all his faults, and there were faults. I just think that I don't think they know what they're doing as an organization. I didn't. A lot of people were high on the Panthers this year. I just didn't see it. Like Bryce Young didn't show me anything where I went, "Yep, this year is it." I think I can see Carolina making the playoffs, or at least being like contenders to make it, or squeaking in, or something. I just didn't see it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like their running game was a little decent at the end of the year last year, but I didn't see the offensive weapons. I didn't see the defense. I think the coaching is trash. I just think that they are not a well-run franchise right now. And honestly, I know I'm Mr. Like, let's be patient on quarterbacks. I mean, one of my topics is that that I brought up for this week, but I don't. Is it the regime? Is it the coaching? Is Bryce Young not good? Like he was, except for his height, he was a quote unquote sure thing, right? Coming out of Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a better prospect essentially than Tua, especially after Tua got hurt. Like, and I don't know, man. I don't know what you do if I don't.
You got to ask yourself a lot of questions about that.
Yeah.
But to Dwayne's comment, he says Marlon Humphrey. So, but that
Ravens secondary except Nate Wiggins.
It's nasty.
What happened to Marlon?
Except Nate Wiggins and Kyle Hamilton. That whole Ravens defense is just awful.
What happened? We were talking about Marlon Humphrey as one of the top safeties in the league. Like I swear, a sneeze ago, and now he just is.
He's hurt all the time. I mean,
he's hurt all the time.
Yeah, like I tell people, man, the best ability is availability. When you always available, I mean, hey, look, I know people who are trash at their job in the real world, but because they don't miss a day, boss gonna keep them. So
like him and Jair Alexander both been trash.
Yeah.
Him, Jair Alexander, and they put a lot of money into Kyle Hamilton, and it didn't help that Justin Metabupe he missed today. So yeah, with him out, that was just nasty.
They better not get that first. Oh my god,
that's that Willie Beeman shit. You see, that's
Dallas, y'all suck, bro.
That's that any given Sunday stuff, man.
Dallas, y'all suck, bro. How y'all letting get a first down on that?
That was second second down.
Still running a play like that and getting it, just no.
They ran that at any given Sunday. It works.
Jesus. And that's a lateral. It's not even a forward pass. That's a straight lateral.
All right, I'm just gonna say something. I know it's for safety, and so I understand about it, but those helmet wraps look ridiculous. They do. They just do. They do. They look like, remember when you could do like when you could play NFL blitz and you could do the big heads?
Oh, you talking
Yeah,
about
that is what they look like. That is what they look like.
Again, I get it if you wear it for your safety, that's fine. It just does look ridiculous. That's it.
All right, let's go back to Dwayne's comments real quick, man. Do y'all think John Harbaugh should be fired?
No. This is finally so far it's been kind of down. No. John Harbaugh is too proven, has won too much, even though he technically hasn't been to even though he ain't been to a Super Bowl since, the one where they beat the 49ers. Nah, he's proven. He's too proven to be like, let's fire him now.
No, we've been over this on how good of a coach he is. Like, I mean, one, he's one of the longest tenured right now, and two, like, he's one of those coaches that was able to go into New England, and no, like his record was right up there with Belichick for a while. So, like, no, you don't just go. You don't. You're not upgrading from John Harbaugh. There's no reason to fire him because you're not upgrading. No matter what coach you get, you're not upgrading.
Unless you make Todd Monken the coach
right now. That's the thing where I look at the Panthers. I go, like, who are you going to go get if you're a coach to try as a coach? Like, who are you going to go get right now? I'm sorry, as a GM, owner, whatever. Who are you going to go get to turn this franchise around? Like, that's kind of my thing. Like, I'm not seeing a lot of young coaching. Like, we had Ben Johnson for Detroit, but like right now, I'm just kind of like, who? Like, who's the new golden boy possibly? And I just don't see one.
If you want to go there, there's the Bills offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Who used to be LSU's Joe Barry, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's him, but that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you make Todd Monken the coach, I mean, which I don't think Todd wants to be the head coach. I don't think Todd wants to be wants to be the head coach.
I don't think he wants to be. Yeah, I agree.
Because if you really want me to be honest, after he just had one of the best offenses, arguably in damn league history, I think somebody would have hired him after that. But instead, he resigned. I don't think he wants to be the head coach. So, yeah. So, I mean, hey, you fired everybody else. You fired Cameron, a little bit of everybody. But, I just think, look, it's just they going through a period where every other team has to go through. I think the Houston Oilers went through this. I remember the Houston Oilers went through this, like, they went through this. So, I mean, yeah, you got to get it together, though, man. I mean, this is way too talented of a team to be 1-3. I mean,
agreed.
But on the flip side of that coin, we have seen teams come from that in order to get to the playoffs. So I never forget when the Houston Oilers, they went 1-4. Then they won 11 games going down the stretch and clinched the bye week and ended up they lost to Joe Montana, but still.
Well, shoot, the 97 Falcons started 1-8 and damn near made the playoffs.
Are we discounting right now? Look, I know you could classify me as a Lamar Jackson hater to a certain extent, but are we discounting? Just play a little bit of devil's advocate. Are we discounting the fact that like 2 out of 3 games, out of their 4 games, were against the Chiefs and the Bills?
Well, not only that damn defense been getting ran through like like a bunch of pancakes on Sunday morning at grandma's house. It's kind of hard to. It's kind of look. You can have.
And the Lions, by the way. So, like, 3 of the top, 5 teams in the league?
Yeah, so you're not going to – when your defense is playing like trash, you're not going to recover that fast. I mean look.
It's a little telling that you did lose all 3. Your only win is against the Browns. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not ready to toss a towel in on the Ravens right now. Like, one – Lamar did get hurt, but yeah, that defense has got to do something. But
yeah, don't be surprised if the damn defense coordinator get fired because that shit is nasty. I
don't trust nobody else in the AFC, and I don't trust nobody else in the AFC North yet either.
No,
yeah,
I'm not sold on, even though my prediction is looking stellar right now.
Yeah, you did say they would not win the division.
I did say they wasn't going to win, and I thought Pittsburgh was going to win it, or at least they would. And right now, it's looking pretty cool. But
Yeah.
I still don't trust Pittsburgh yet. I still need to see a little bit more. We're only a quarter of the way through the season. I don't trust it yet. There's a lot of teams right now that I don't trust. There's not a like, there's, like 2, 3. Like I trust Philly. I trust the Bills.
I really think this year is the year of the NFC. I really think the NFC is kind of going to reign supreme in the headlines this year. The AFC, think about what's always been the cornerstone of the AFC. It's always been the quarterbacks. And thus far, it hasn't been good. Until today, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs were considered like dead in the water. I mean, then, Baltimore's not looking good. The only quarterback and team that's just looking great and just look like they could just beat anybody at this point in the AFC is the Buffalo Bills. So when you really think about all of that's going on at this point, you really have to look at the NFC and say, hey, who from the NFC that we need to be watching at this point? Like I said, the AFC was always the cornerstone for the quarterbacks. And I'm going to tell you why. When you really look at Justin Herbert, these teams that normally were the cornerstone, they're now walking red flags because the Chargers today, they just lost their second best offensive lineman in the form of Joe Alt. I don't know how long he's going to be out. Then they lost Slater before the season even started. So you're missing your star guard and your star tackle right about now. How are you going to protect your quarterback? Everybody is not Joe Burrow. Everybody's not going to be able to pass without protection.
Well, that's both of their tackles because Rashawn Slater's the right tackle.
Well, Joe Hart was a guard, ain't it?
Joe Hart's a left tackle.
Oh, damn, my bad. I thought he played guard.
They're both tackles.
Yeah, so you pretty much SOL at this point. You missing both of your tackles? Shit, you
missing both of your tackles.
You finna get your ass whooped for the rest of this season. So yeah, pretty much over for you.
Yeah, because Rashawn Slater's been coming into his own over the last couple of years as being one of the premier right tackles in the league, and Joe Alt's already one of the premier left tackles in the league. So yeah.
I gotta say this. The team that I am starting to trust, I'm almost there on Green Bay, but I will say, even though in a losing effort today, I'm starting to trust the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Baker Mayfield, babe.
Dude, I was on that Baker train in Cleveland, and I thought it was one of the dumbest moves for them to give him up. And he is starting to prove even without, like, look at last year what he did without Mike Evans for a while and Godwin, and dude. And I also want to point out he's following up the GOAT. I'm just saying. And I know they almost came back against Philly. And they started real slow, but dude, I think they're a legit contender.
I've been saying that.
What?
Yeah, I've been saying that. I've been saying that. I've always said.
I needed to. I wasn't really like I was like, I'm like, yeah, they'll make the playoffs. They'll win their division probably, but like, are they a contender? I think they're a contender. There's a difference between we'll win the division, blah, 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 and an actual Super Bowl contender. I think they're a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah. For me, a Super Bowl contender is a team that can travel in the playoffs and beat somebody. Tampa is a team that can travel in the playoffs and beat somebody.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, you got to keep this in mind. Baker's missing 3 of his offensive line. He just got back Chris Godwin. Mike Evans has been out, and 2 of his other receivers is out. So he really been doing this with a lot of. So
you just saw that hit too.
Hey.
Turn your back, son. What are you doing?
Yeah. Tried to be Boobie Miles and end up getting put down a mile.
Yeah, tried to be Boobie Miles and ended up in a booby trap.
Doing stuff to do stuff. Don't do that.
Hey, hey, man, look, man. Hey. You play rabbit, you get caught. I can't say what we would normally say down south, but you know what I'm saying. But hey, rabbit, you get caught. So best rookie coming out party.
Ashton Genty. Even though they lost, what Ashton Genty did today, like that was him finally living up to the hype that he came out with in the draft. Like 119, or no, like 130 yards rushing, had 3 touchdowns. Like he finally I mean, he had all of Vegas's touchdowns today. So he finally kind of took that step to be like, hey, I am the guy they drafted this year. I am that guy. He finally showed that today.
Who was my rookie of the year to start the season?
I don't remember.
Cam
Scatterboo.
Cam Scatterboo. He's becoming the premier. I told y'all he was going to become the premier back, and lo and behold,
I said who was going to be the best back out of this draft.
So Cam Scatterboo.
Yeah.
So hey,
I didn't say it, but I was leaning Omarion Hampton, and he showed up today too.
Yes.
Mine is, I'm going to butcher this kid's name, but Emeka, what's his last name?
Emeka Ibuka.
Yes. Yeah. 4 receptions, over 100 yards. Like, you know, in the absence of Mike Evans, like that's his coming out party. Like it's.
So basically,
I'll say one more. I'm gonna be a little bit of a homer. I have to. Well, I take it back. I got 2. I'm gonna be a little bit of a homer. I don't care. Jalen Walker isn't showing it on the stat sheets yet, but he's starting to feel himself in this defense. And you kind of saw it today against Washington. He was really hard to block today. So he's starting to show himself a little bit. And Xavier Watts, I said he was the steal of the entire draft, getting him in the 4th round. He already had 2 picks already this year. And then he's learning beside arguably the best safety in the game in Jesse Bates. So, I mean, like, just to be a little bit of a homer, I got to shout out Jalen Walker and Xavier Watts. Jalen Walker in particular is starting to feel himself in this defense because they didn't want him just as a primary edge rusher. They want to move him around the defense, but I think that's how he works best. He's a versatile player. He can play linebacker. He can rush when you need to rush. I'm telling you, watch for Jalen Walker as the season progresses because he's starting to feel himself and get better in this defense. Don't be surprised if if him and Xavier Watts are making top 5 cases for defensive rookie of the year this year. Don't be shocked.
Oh, fuck. Stop dancing. Stop dancing. Sorry.
Yeah. I saw him dancing. Like I said, y'all saw my setup before we went live. I'm over here watching the WNBA playoffs and Sunday Night Football. So that's how much of a sports fanatic I am. And I got the iPad for my notes right about here. So yeah.
Just dive forward and get back to the line of scrimmage.
Not even that. The blocking was there. Just take a lane, dude. Stop trying to make a play. Stop trying to go so hard. You don't have to try that hard.
Who the hell he think he is? Barry Sanders?
I don't know.
Barry Sanders.
He lucky they got called for a penalty on that.
You ain't Barry Sanders. There's only one Barry Sanders.
Boy, right now you ain't Barry White.
Yeah. Well, you go in slow motion just like he do. You know, baby. Yeah, that's how slow he go right.
Boy.
So, which team is in the most trouble after week 4? I'm going first on this, the Cleveland Browns. It's bad. It's bad. And it's sad.
But at what level bad?
It's pretty bad because the thing is, the only thing that I feel like that they're missing is quarterback position. You have the number 1 defense coming into this week in the league. Yeah. You have your replacement for Nick Chubb in the form of Quinshawn Jenkins. Quinshawn Jenkins had a damn good game today. 21. I think he had 21 carries for like 87 yards. So you found your replacement for him, and right behind him, you have Sampson right behind him. Dylan Sampson right behind him. So, The only thing that you really need in order to go along with this top flight security of the world defense is a little bit of offense. You need it. And
consistent play in the quarterback.
And the thing is, you have weapons. You have Jared Judy. You have David Njoku. You have offensive line. It's just that Joe Flacco cannot. I mean, he just keeps turning the damn ball over. That's what's happening. They're in trouble because the thing is, with this offense, I think the last 2 years with this offense, they've had the weapons in order to produce. I just don't think they have a trigger puller yet. They have a tool. They have a dual back system to die for. They have it. They have one of the best defensive players in the league in Myles Garrett.
Go
ahead.
This is the obvious. This is the elephant in the room. How fast do you call the Atlanta Falcons?
I mean, do you have any money to damn call them after you gave Mr. Marcus all that money?
I don't think it depends on what you. I don't. What does the Cleveland Browns? What do the Cleveland Browns have like decent draft capital to be like, hey, we calling about Kirk Cousins?
Like, what are you really giving up for Cousins? Not giving up a 1 or a 2.
No, you might give up a 3, but do you have the money in order to get it?
Yeah, true. You gotta have that money too.
You gotta have that money.
No, yeah, but here's the thing: the how you negotiate that is if you trade for him, you ask Cleveland to pay a portion, or Atlanta to pay a portion of the salary. So you say, like, if you're Atlanta, if you're Cleveland, you go, all right, we'll bump the draft pick up a little bit, but you have to take on a portion of his salary. So instead of a 4, we'll give you a 3. But you got to take on 20% of his salary or something, whatever. I'm making up stuff, but
no, I think the Falcons will be willing. I think they'd be willing to do that for a 3. This is why they kept him. This is exactly why they kept him.
So, but my other point is, if you're Cleveland, is it worth it, or do you just tank?
You might just want to tank at this point because number one, I don't think Atlanta should do that because the thing is, if they keep Kirk Cousins, then $60 million of cap space is freed up next year. If they trade or release him, they only get $25 million. You gonna sit your ass right there until I get my $60 million.
Exactly, because imagine the Atlanta Falcons with this roster as currently constructed with $60 million of free money to spend.
Exactly, and a lot of the free agents is coming out next year, so I don't think Atlanta would be willing to even trade or even bargain with them, considering that $60 million is coming off their books next year. And, you got another deep draft next year. So guess what? And Terry Fontenot, he has been drafted pretty damn well. So I don't think that you make that deal knowing that $60 million is coming off next year.
And I think the free agent class is pretty deep as well next year, too. I got to research that. But I think the free agency class is going to be pretty loaded for 2026. I have to look and see.
Yeah, I'll look
or if one of y'all can pull it up because I'm on my phone. I can't really look like that. I know y'all can because y'all got computers.
Yeah. Hold on for 1 second. I'm gonna go, but yeah, I don't think that Atlanta would need to do that. I think that would be hustling backwards. And yeah, hold on for 1 second. Let me see, because I know next year for damn near all sports is gonna be like loaded. I know they got over 100 free agents next year, so. They're like 25 of them are all-stars.
I think the sport that's going to be least loaded as far as free agency is baseball, because a lot of the really, really talented baseball players are getting locked up.
Okay, so next year, it's real deep next year. You have Trey Hendricks, Mike Evans, Khalil Mack, Christian Kirk, Deebo Samuels, Mark Andrews, David Njoku, Joey Bosa. You're going to have a lot next year. So hold on. And then George Pickens is going to be an upcoming free agent next year. So you're going to have, hold on, let me start from the top. You're going to have Tyler. You're going to have Tyler.
I honestly think they're going to keep Tyler. I think they're going to keep Tyler and they're going to keep KP. I think they're keeping them both.
Yeah, Isaiah Likely, Mike Evans, Wyatt Teller. Alex Pierce is going to be a free agency. Travis Jones. You're going to have Kenny Walker. Breece Hall is going to be a free agent next year. Juwan Jennings, David Lloyd, a little bit of everybody. So yeah, you're gonna have a deep free agent class next year. So and then plus you got to think about if Kyle Pitts has a big year, how much money is going to take to keep him there. So yeah. So yeah, I don't think that you. I don't know, to be honest with you. At this point, you got to think about this if you're Cleveland. You got to put a lot of thought in this quarterback position because you have talent elsewhere and you have players locked up elsewhere. The only thing that's really stopping you is the quarterback position. Kevin Stefanski is not a bad coach. So the only thing that's stopping you at this point is the quarterback position. So, and then after next year, you could pretty much tell Deshaun Watson to go plow sand. So you got to think about everything.
Has there ever been Has there ever been a bigger screw up when it comes to like fumbling the quarterback position on so many levels? Not just letting Baker go, but then doing the Deshaun Watson thing, and now like not picking one of the top flight quarterbacks this year, waiting until like whatever round they got Dylan Gabriel in. Like, can you screw this up any harder? It's like they're trying to do it.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, you can't look. You can mess up fast and pick up speed all you want to. It's only so many times that you're gonna be able to mess up. It's just, I don't know. I just don't know because they have a quarterback.
I'll say it's between Cleveland in terms of history, Cleveland, Chicago.
Okay. This isn't just like drafting the wrong guy. Like, you had the right guy. Then you got rid of the right guy for
Mr. Marcus.
What? Yeah. Stop it, champ. Stop it. Stop it.
No.
But
you got rid of Baker Mayfield for Bill Cosby 2.0. Like, let's not.
But bring it back. Hindsight is 2020 now because Baker Mayfield playing his butt off. We weren't saying that when it happened. We were a little worried. You're one of the few that was saying
Baker Mayfield was hurt. He was hurt.
But even still, hurt or not, we didn't know he was going to turn into this.
We knew Deshaun Watson was Bill Cosby.
Look, even still, I tried to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Despite all that, he just came out to play like absolute dog water, garbage, basuda. He just came out and played like trash.
I'm all for, like, don't get me wrong. I'm not, when accusations come flying, I am Mr. What? Let's just wait for the facts to come out. I am totally, I am Mr. that guy. But you again. You were a bad call away from beating the Chiefs and going to a Super Bowl, and you had one bad year because you had a hurt shoulder, and you just your excuse was we needed an adult in the room, so you went and got the dude that's like essaying women. Like,
I don't agree with that at all. No, that's not the part. I'm looking at. And even still, it took Baker. It took him a couple of years still after that to find himself because he lucked up and got around quality coaching that could develop him into what he is now. He lucked into, especially going to the Rams with Sean McVay. That was like a situation made in heaven for him to really get coached and to get developed. And then he goes to Tampa, and like now you see the end result, the blossoming of a top 10 quarterback in the league. We didn't know he was going to turn into this before. It took a couple of years. So, I mean, we can
in Cleveland, he had one bad year.
But he wasn't playing. Even his good years in Cleveland was not what he's doing in Tampa.
No, but
he had bad. Number one, I will say this if I can interject myself for a second. Number one, when you have 3 head coaches in your first 5 years, and the first head coach that you have would rather let the team go 0-16 and let you lose games. I mean, number one, what's the guy? Hugh Jackson openly admitted that he kept Baker on the bench on purpose when they had a chance to play him the first year. So your first head coach is Hugh Jackson, who we know is not a head coach. Then your second head coach is Freddie Kitchens. Bust. Then you finally get some stable coaching in the form of Kevin Stefanski. Then on top of that, one second, Flash. Then on top of that, they load up. They bring in Odell Beckham, which come to find out, he was a little bit still hurt at a certain point. He was still hurt. He had not yet fully recovered. They had Jarvis, and Jarvis Landry became the primary target. And the thing is, everybody knew that Baker was hurt. The thing is, the reason why they brought in Deshaun Watson was because they thought they were going to upgrade. They thought they were going to upgrade, and they were going to be able to take that team who they had, Jarvis Landry and all those great players. They thought they were going to be able to go to the Super Bowl. It wasn't just because they wanted a quote-unquote adult in the room. They thought that he was going to elevate them to the Super Bowl. And I remember when they did that, I brought this out. I brought up this valid point. Remember what happened when Carson Palmer missed an entire freaking year. it took him at least 2 years in order to get back into form. Football is timing.
I understand that, but I just want to point out this is his stats. Okay, his first 3 years as the starter. His first year, he's 27 touchdowns and 14 picks for 3,700 yards. Okay, completion percentage of 63.8. His second year, the Browns went 6-10, had a little bit of a down year, a little bit, but still 3,800 yards, almost 60% completion percentage. Had a crappy year when it came to interceptions, 22-21. But then the year they almost went to the Super Bowl, dude was 3,500 yards, 63% completion percentage, and went through 26 touchdowns and only 8 picks. And the next year, yes, bad because of a shoulder injury. But I just.
When you're supposed to elevate a team to the Super Bowl like they said Deshaun Watson was going to, and like I said, the minute the trade got brought up, I said, look, this guy has missed almost a year. And then they suspended him for the entire next year. So your timing is off. So I knew it was going to take some time. But remember, when Carson Palmer first went to the Oakland Raiders, it was the same thing that happened. It took him a few years in order to get up to speed before he finally got traded to Arizona when he had some of his best years. So I'll say this. Baker, you already had the guy. You already had it. So the thing was, number one, you didn't do your due diligence. Number two, you didn't take into consideration he had 3 different coaches. And look, when you go to the Carolina Panthers, of course, you're not going to have a bright and shiny future. Look at what they're doing with the people who they drafted. So when you look up and get somebody who's going to actually coach you, remember what Jared Goff was up under Jeff Fisher, and remember what he turned into under Sean McVay. Jared Goff wasn't worth the salt in the bread when he was with Jeff Fisher. Let's just face it. People was calling him a bust. People were calling him all sorts of things. The bright spot of that team during that time was UGA alumnus Todd Gurley. Sean McVay gets there instantly.
Playoffs.
It's about coaching. And guess what? He didn't have the proper coaching, or they didn't give him enough time with the great coaching that they have in Cleveland. They wanted a Super Bowl because they saw that roster and they became impatient. That's what that was. They saw the roster. They saw Jarvis Landry. They saw David Njoku. They saw Nick Chubb. They saw Odell Beckham. They saw that superstar offensive line that they had. They saw Olivier Vernon. They saw Myles Garrett. They saw Denzel Ward and that secondary. Okay, we got the best defense in the league. Look, we need to make an upgrade. And that's all that is. It's no different.
And what do I constantly preach on this show?
Patience. That's what they was looking at. So it was more than just I want an adult in the room. No, you thought you could upgrade and get your team to the Super Bowl.
I just don't think it was that easy of an upgrade, though. I don't think
if we would have gotten to Deshaun Watson, that was the year before he got deactivated, I could understand. If it's the year before when they went 4-12 and he was still lighting the place up like a Christmas tree.
2020 Deshaun Watson, who I had as the third best quarterback in the league for 2020, and that was him. Yeah,
that's an upgrade. But he missed the entire year, and we knew he was going to miss the majority of the season, the very next season. You missed almost 2 darn years. And the thing is, they knew he was going to miss a lot of time because guess what? They paid it. They structured his contract to do that. So it wasn't that they just wanted an adult in the room. They wanted a quick upgrade in order to get to the Super Bowl. They saw that roster and say, hey, we got a chance to get to the Super Bowl. We got to get rid of his ass. We got to think, and we got to think of a valid reason in order to. We got to think of a valid reason. Because Baker wasn't getting in trouble when he was in Cleveland.
No.
Oh, man. He wasn't getting in trouble. He wasn't out here doing the most. He wasn't, he didn't rub teammates the wrong way.
Oh.
None of that. It was just, like I said, he is just an enthusiastic quarterback, a lot like Jim McMahon was. Very enthusiastic, very in your face, yes. So, yeah, that's what they were looking for. They just couldn't say, hey, we see Deshaun Watson, his big arm, he's on a watch team right about now. We're going to bring him into our team to see if we can get us to a Super Bowl. They couldn't say that part. So, yeah, that's what that was. People want to talk about, well, we wanted in the door room. Just say what you want. It's kind of like leaving your girlfriend for Kim Kardashian. It's kind of like that. You keep saying, and hear me out, you keep saying that, hey, I need to do some things, our morals aren't the line, but you really want a good piece of arm candy to walk around with. That's what you want.
Yeah, but
that's what you want. I'm just being real. That's what you want. You want a good piece of arm candy to walk around with. Kind of like leaving your girl Kim Kardashian. You think you upgraded, but in fact you downgraded.
Well, yeah, but
touchdown.
But there is no upgrade in that situation. That's the problem.
That's my point.
Like you can say all day long, we can think this is an upgrade, but it wasn't, even in real time.
It's not. Like I said, it's kind of like trying to leave your girl for Kim Kardashian. You can't say you can't say I've become a millionaire now. I want a good piece of arm candy to parade around with my buddies. You have to say our morals on the line. You have to say that. That's exactly what the Cleveland Browns did. We wanted an adult in the room. We need an adult in the room. I mean, well, damn, if you want an adult movie star, I mean, you got your guy. But, if you want a real adult in the room, you should have stuck with Baker. So that's just what that is. It's kind of like people, like I said, it's kind of like leaving your girl for Kim Kardashian. You think you're making an upgrade, but in fact, no. So, but you can't say that. You have to say, hey, you have to get the politically correct answer. You can't say, I see this roster, I see us in contention for a Super Bowl. This could potentially be the guy. That's what they were looking at.
But to me, that is the politically correct answer. Saying we need an adult in room and then going and getting the guy.
Then go get John Hall. Oh, that don't make no sense.
Oh, champ, what with the nicknames? Yeah.
Right, but that's the thing, though.
I'm just saying.
That's what I don't understand. Like that's the thing. Like, in no way, shape, or form is an adult in the room or to win a Super Bowl a valid excuse to go get Billy C. Like,
oh my God, call that man by his real name. Jesus Christ, call that man by his real name. We done went from Mr. Marcus to John Holmes to what you to call him. Call that man his real name. Jesus Christ.
No, but we ain't lying though, man. It's like You know,
Good, but still, man. Good Lord. Man, we done lost it with the nicknames, man. It's good. Mr. Touch My Body. I called him Mr. Satisfy You. Okay, we get it. We get it. That man need to stay out of the massage parlors. We get it. We get it.
Then you got. I mean, honestly, we should literally just put him and Justin Tuck Me on their own island together. Just send them on their way. Let's just get rid of Justin Tuck Me. Just get rid of him too.
Did you say Tuck Me?
You don't deserve to get called by your real name when you act like that. Nope. Sorry. I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna eat my Harvey cheddar sun chips, and then I'm gonna make fun of these people because they're terrible people and give them their little nickname. So we got Billy C and Justin Tuck Me.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's just what that is. But let's just move to the next subject. Let's get to the meat and potatoes, man. We've been joking a lot, but hey, man, anything can happen. Anything can happen on the Undisputed GOAT podcast, man. That's what it is. Is Russell Wilson a Hall of Famer after being benched in favor of Jackson Dart? I say yes. I say yes. He has the same amount of Pro Bowls as Warren Moon. He has an All-Pro. I mean, at one point, it was let Russ cook, and he was able to get them to the playoffs even without the Legion of Boom. And in fact, before things just went terribly wrong in Denver, he was able to get them to the playoffs then. And he made the playoffs just last year with Pittsburgh. So nearly every team he's been on has been a playoff team. So I look, here's what I believe. Russ is he's going to do all the right things. And he's going to say all the right things. And because of that, because he's not a politician, I will say he gets a bad rap, unfortunately. He's going to do all the right thing. He's going to say all the right thing. He's not going to throw his coach under the bus. He's going to say, my fault, my fault, my fault. But, you know, and I understandably so. When you have a quarterback like that, it's kind of easy to get along with him. But the thing is, look, I don't think that we should discount what he has done in his career. By the time, look, I understand it was the Legion of Boom, but keep in mind, by the time he was in his fourth year, he had already had 24th quarter comebacks in his career by the time he was in his fourth year. He was known for bringing them back when they were down. And safe to say, Russell Wilson wasn't even supposed to be the quarterback. It was supposed to be Matt Flynn. They paid a lot of money in order to get Matt Flynn, and he ended up replacing him coming out of the third round. And Russ is not that big. He's only like 6 foot, 230 pounds, and he set a new standard for smaller quarterbacks. So, no, I think he is a Hall of Famer. Like I said, man, you look at his stats, he is up there, man. And he won a Super Bowl with the back-to-back Super Bowls. When you look at Russell Wilson's stats, he's up there. And you can't deny that. And I know people are going to say, well, he had the Legion of Boom. Of course. But if Matt Flynn was on the Legion of Boom, do they win a Super Bowl? Hell no, they don't. Not to mention, he has been the passer rating leader and the passing touchdowns leader. He did that in 2017 without the Legion of Boom. That was long after the Legion of Boom. And in 2017, he threw for 34 touchdowns. And he was a dual threat quarterback. So guess what? He was, and long before, look, let's not forget that year, 2014, he had 3,500 yards, and then he rushed for 800 yards. First quarterback to do that. So, yeah, Russell's a Hall of Famer. We got to stop trying to attach.
But certain podcasters would tell you he wasn't a dual threat quarterback. I'm not naming any names, though.
Again, only thing you got, again.
Wait, what dumbass said that?
Yeah.
Mookie. I'm sorry. It was somebody on it was a guy. I think he was doing a Trent's podcast with Players Choice Football or whatever. Yeah, he said Russell Wilson was never a dual threat quarterback. Bless his soul.
The whole reason RPOs became a thing in the league more than they were then was because of Russell Wilson. The whole discussion around RPOs in general centered around Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
The whole reason why people questioned whether or not he was a quality quarterback was because they used RPOs. If you go on a podcast and you legitimately say that Russell Wilson was not a dual threat quarterback, look, this is why the meme going around that all of Trump's tariffs should be put on podcast material and technology, because not everybody should have access to that kind of stuff. That person is one of them. I don't give a crap if I'm offending you, but you should stop doing sports podcasts. Thank you. I'm going to go back to eating my chips.
I don't like the way you licked your fingers after you did that shit. What the hell was that? What? That sounds like some Lucky Luciano shit. What the fuck going on?
That Kevin Hart joke when he was talking about the kid, talking about he couldn't get on it because he was eating wings. Like, hey.
It's like that Doritos, all those Doritos commercials. That one, oh my god, when a guy they grab the other guy's hand and starts. Well, whatever.
Oh, so thus far, Dallas is keeping up with your Green Bay Packers, and Jordan Love has just fumbled. Damn.
Again, this is. I said I am almost on the Packers, and I'm not there yet. And there we go. There he goes.
Let's see what that can do. Let's see what they do on this drive, and then see what goes on. Touchdown. Damn. So George Chitlins is playing like George Pickens again. So
yeah, he's good. Did you see that catch earlier? That was a hell of a catch.
Yeah. Like I said on Sports PSP's podcast just last night, he had essentially two number one receivers. He had CeeDee Lamb, who's the number one, and he had George Pickens, who's the number one. So with George Pickens replacing CeeDee Lamb as the temporary number one, he can't lose. You got a guy that's out there that can do some things. So guess what? And you can force feed it to him.
Yeah, look, this is I said this on the podcast before. Like at the end of the day, look, we can talk about the pack, and like I said, I'm a season ticket holder and everything else. We can talk about Micah Parsons. We can talk, or as Champ likes to say, Mika. We can talk about Mika all day long and how the defense has improved, and they got Josh Jacobs. At the end of the day, as this team will go only as far as Jordan Love takes them. Yes, and if Jordan Love can't make quality decisions and turns the ball over and stuff like this, then they'll be a couple games above 500, and then they'll lose in the playoffs somewhere, and that's it. So, all right, it is what it is, man. Can't be turning the ball over.
What do you think about Russ being a Hall of Famer? Flash.
I am of the opinion that if it's a question mark, then you're not a Hall of Famer. Like if you have to think about it, I always think it's a no.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that I have to think about it, in my opinion, I think it's a no. But honestly, if Malcolm Butler doesn't happen, it's a no-brainer. He's in the Super Bowl or in the Hall of Fame. I honestly think, to me, that is the most important play in Super Bowl history, or in NFL history. That changed so many things in one instant, and one of them is including the trajectory of that whole Seattle franchise. I think it's barely a no. I just don't. I always feel like at some point were you considered the best player at your position in the league, and he was considered an MVP candidate at times. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he wasn't good. I say barely no. Barely no. If I have to think about it, because he did have a really great run after that, like 2014 to like whenever he left. Let's see. I mean, even his last 2 years in Seattle were still, well, maybe I'm wrong. His last 2 years in Seattle, in 2020, he went for 40 touchdowns and only 13 picks and over 4,000 yards. And even his last year, he was still 25-6. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I'm wrong. I think I just completely talked myself out of my own opinion. Yeah, he is. He's a Hall of Famer. He is. He's a Hall of Famer. BRF, what did you say? You said yes, or didn't you say yet?
No, I was letting y'all get y'all's out of the way. No, I hadn't gone yet. I believe Russell Wilson is. Because
do you feel good about saying yes though?
He's in the Matt Ryan. He's in the Matt Ryan territory with me as far as being a Hall of Famer is concerned. He's in the Matt Ryan. He's in the Matt Ryan territory. Like more because more people. I feel like with him, it's kind of like a lot of people will tell you no, but if you feel yes, you can make a great argument as to why they are. And I think with Russell Wilson, you can make a pretty good argument as why eventually he's going to get in. Same with Matt Ryan. You can make really good arguments as to why they're eventually going to get in. Because when you go back to those back-to-back Super Bowl years, and I understand, let's talk about the offense for a minute. Like, we get the Legion of Boom. Let's talk about the offense. Because when we talk about the offense, everybody wants to focus on Marshawn Lynch. And understandably so. That was the peak of Marshawn Lynch's powers. Don't get it wrong. But you're not going to be a top 10 offense in the league both years with just Marshawn Lynch. I mean, you got to have a quarterback that can pull the trigger. And Russell Wilson was pulling the trigger at a pretty good rate. So I mean, they were a really good offense. And I mean, and
a lot of people don't remember how bad that Seattle offensive line was for a while.
For a while. For a while, that Seattle offensive line, boy, when they went up against good defense, I prayed for them. Because when them lines went up against a really good defensive line, man, you prayed for them at times like that. But I feel like if I don't know, because my thing is, because like I think you said something really good as far as like Flash said something really good as far as like if you being considered the best player at your position at any point in time in your career, and like you can make I don't think Russell Wilson ever was the best quarterback in the National Football League, but he was top 5 for a good, I give him a good 2-3 year period. He was in top 5 conversation.
That's fair.
He was in top 5 conversations, like, and this is beyond the Super Bowl years. We're talking like late 2010. So those last 4 or 5 years in Seattle, he was in top 5 conversation. So I like he had like he never like and it's almost like it's kind of like Drew Brees in the standpoint that he never won an MVP either. But Drew Brees was just so much better, and Drew Brees is like a lock to get into the Hall of Fame, even without ever winning the Most Valuable Player award. Drew Brees is a lot to get in. Russell Wilson, to me, was like I said, he was in top 5 conversations for a good handful of years, and his ceiling was better than a lot of quarterbacks that have played in the league. So I'll say yes. I think eventually, I think Russell Wilson is a Hall of Famer. Eventually, he's going to get in the Hall of Fame because this era. Well, for one, this is the deepest era of quarterbacks we've ever seen. Because it's like now we're getting into that realm of like a bunch of really, really good to great quarterbacks that all have discussions, but it's like, okay, that's when you know that era of quarterback was deep because it's like you got the Peyton Mannings of the world, the Tom Brady's of the world, the Aaron Rodgers of the world, the Drew Brees of the world. Those are the locks. See, now you're getting into the Phillip Rivers of the world, the Ben Roethlisbergers of the world, the Eli Mannings of the world, the Matt Ryans of the world, the Russell Wilsons of the world. Like deep, very deep era of really good to great quarterback play. So I guess Ben Roethlisberger you could pull out of that class. And I think
I was just about to say,
I think Ben Roethlisberger is probably closer on the lock side to getting in as opposed to the other quarterbacks. But like I think for me that as far as like that next tier, as far as class of like guys that are going to get in, I think him and Matt Ryan might be the best of like that next group that's going to be like Hall of Fame eligible. If you have Peyton, you have Drew. If you have Peyton, you have Drew, you have Aaron, you have Tom Brady, and you have Ben Roethlisberger, and then you get to that next crop. I think the best of the bunch are Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson. And if you want to throw Eli Manning in there, his claim to fame is 2 championships and beating Tom Brady both times. But honestly, it's like without, and I know it's like nitpicking, but like I saw a clip. I think somebody had said that, and Chris Canty, who was on those championship teams with the New York, I think he was on the 2011. He was either on both or at least on the 2011 squad with the New York Giants that won those chips. He went off like like basically defending Eli Manning with his life. But I mean, when you look at Eli Manning's numbers, like the totality of it, his longevity of it, yeah, but is it wrong to say without those championships he's nowhere even close to the Hall of Fame? Is it wrong to say?
Nope, that's exactly right. And look, sometimes I like the other. I didn't come up with this one, but I always like the analogy. I think Champ, you use this one a lot. Can you talk about the history of the league without mentioning Eli Manning?
You can't because he beat Tom Brady twice in Super Bowls. You can't talk about the history of the league without him.
Two of the most iconic throws ever.
Yeah. The one to David Tyree and then the one to Mario Manningham.
Yeah. So I hate as a Tom Brady Patriot guy, it hurts my soul, but there can be two truths at the same time. One, if you take away those 2 Super Bowls, even if you take away one, away one of those Super Bowls, he's not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You could chalk it up to just because again, let's say they never win the 2011 one. Okay. You could chalk up the 07 one to just luck. Well, the Giants front 4, they had a great game, but it was just luck. Asante Samuel dropped an interception right in his chest, and then you had the helmet catch, which was borderline physically impossible to do. And then let's say they don't win 2011, he's not a Hall of Famer. But the fact that you take out Belichick and Brady twice, and to me, the Manningham throw is way more impressive than the one to David Tyree. I
agree.
A lot of people talk about the helmet catches. It's more iconic of a play, but that ball to Manningham was a way more impressive throw.
Exactly.
So many levels. So,
exactly. To drop that ball in the bucket in that tight of coverage. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Like I can make a really great argument that I think Phillip Rivers is a better quarterback than Eli Manning, and was over his career.
He was. I mean, he easily was.
Yes. I just, for some odd reason, and this is the weird conundrum that we live in when it comes to talking about quarterback. There's every reason under the sun. We can't say that Phillip Rivers had less talent because he had talent galore all around. We can't say he had a bad coach. He had Marty Schottenheimer. Now, for all his faults, and he never won a ring, but still, Marty Schottenheimer is still one of those coaches that is considered one of the greatest coaches of all time. Again, not like top 5, but again, can you talk about that? Can you talk about league history without talking about Marty Schottenheimer? No. So sometimes this is why I talk about like how hard it is to win in this league. It's why it's stupid what Brady was able to do. That's why it's so dumb, like on so many levels. And I mean dumb as in like defies reason. It's why what Mahomes and even Andy Reid done, or Montana and the Niners, like it's just defies reason. Because then you have a quarterback who was as good as Phillip Rivers and had dude had Antonio Gates.
Antonio Gates.
He had Antonio Gates. He had LaDainian Tomlinson and Michael Turner at one point at the same time.
He had 2 top 5 all-time greats at
their positions.
Positions. Tight end and running back. Both Antonio Gates and LaDainian Tomlinson are legit top 5 at their positions all time.
Ever. Exactly.
And then, let's not forget when they changed to the 2 tight end system that they had. Remember, he had Antonio Gates on one end and Randy McMichael on the other.
Dude, he had. It still defies me to this day. But again, he just happened to be in the same era as Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Remember at one point they had the best running back room I've probably ever seen. They had LaDainian Thompson, Michael Turner, and Darren Sproles in the same running back.
Yeah. Like there is no reason that any of those they were the team every single year, but this is the year the Chargers finally do it. It's like they just
this is how this one stat that I'm about to remind everybody what happened to when they were the San Diego Chargers. This one stat I'm about to remind everybody should let you know how crazy of an era we've been in as far as quarterback play and how unlucky they were as far as like playoff success. They are still the only team in the history of the National Football League to miss the playoffs and have the #1 ranked offense and defense in the same season.
That's never happened. That's baffling.
Hey,
I know. It's one of the most baffling football stats ever. Again, I've always been a huge fan of Marty Schottenheimer. I love the way he coached. And it's one of those what are certain things that have happened in sports that break your heart? And that's one of the he never won a ring. I always wish that Marty Schottenheimer won a ring. It's one of those things that just breaks my heart as a sports fan.
Did he ever even get to a Super Bowl?
No.
He always made it to the NFC Championship.
He never even made it to the game. That hurts.
No.
Yeah.
That hurts.
It's so he is the Greg Norman of the NFL.
That's a good analogy.
He is the Greg Norman. He is the Greg Norman of the NFL. And again, Greg Norman is that other one that like another sports like thing that just breaks my heart. He never won the Masters. He just never won the big one, and he would come so close, and then just and it just
You know what, man? This might
shock
shock
you.
You know what? This might shock you. I used to wear Greg Norman's clothes.
The Shark?
Yeah, my dad used to have me wearing them damn Greg Norman shit. Nobody knew what it was. It's like, who the hell is Greg Norman? I'm like, well, I used to watch everything. So when Greg Norman's clothing line came out, I used to love that shit. because it used to have it used to have the shark on the back of the ass. So when you tucked your shirt in, everybody logo on it. So
he always, dude. The amount of times he finished second in the Masters, the PGA, and the U.S. Open, or in the top.
It's baffling.
He had the misfortune of playing with Phil Mickelson. Then, after that, Tiger Woods. So you're facing two of the greatest of all time. So it's kind of misfortunate for you because it's like it's a misfortune. It's like
he played it. He played during Jack Nicholson in the 80s. And then, he finished second in 96 in that Masters. I think that was was that Tiger that year? No, that was Faldo.
Tiger was 97.
97. So he just missed Tiger and Phil. He's more like Faldo, Nicholson.
Faldo, Nicholas, Fred Couples. Yeah. That era. He's that era.
He's that era. And he just, you can make an argument besides Nicholas, he was probably the best golfer besides Nicholas, Palmer, and a couple others. But he just, I don't, man, just again, bro, just breaks my heart. And Marty, and he's been, God rest his soul, he passed away in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to look to see if he ever got to the Super Bowl, even in
I don't think he ever did. Because he coached the Kansas City Chiefs all those years, and then went to I don't think he ever did.
No, it was always these misfortunate games. Remember when he was at Cleveland, you had the drive, you had the fumble, and you had a whole lot of crap that just happened up there in Cleveland.
He was.
The year they had Montana and they were looking like they could have beaten Buffalo. Montana went out with a concussion in the middle of the game.
Yeah, Cornelius Billiard knocked the shit out of him.
Yeah,
Marcus Allen fumbled the damn ball. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, even the year that they lost to the Patriots in 2004, when they intercepted the ball. Yeah, they intercepted the ball, and Troy Brown then stripped it right back. It just.
What's so funny about that is he told his dumbass when he first go back and look at the footage. He told that dude's dumbass before the game even started. He said, "Listen to me very, very closely." He said, "Let's remember when you catch the game-winning interception, just remember to go straight down to the ground and to hell with all that running around." He told him what was going to happen. Go back and look at it. He said, "Hey, Florence, just remember when you catch the game-winning interception, remember you go straight down and the hell with all of that running around." And what did this dumb son bitch do? He ran around. So yeah. So it's kind of like somebody telling you, "Hey man, don't jump in that fire," and then you go out there and you jump in there.
Yeah, so, I look at that dude. There's no reason that team should have never have won a ring. They had Wade Phillips as defensive coordinator too. The team was just stacked.
Oh, those Charger teams.
Yes.
Yeah, those Charger teams are some of the most talented squads I've ever seen, bro.
I mean, those Kansas City Chiefs team was great. I don't ever forget when he had. When he had Neil Smith, Derek Thomas, Donnie Edwards. I remember he had Aaron Ross. I remember he coached. People forget that he coached Christian Okoye and Barry Ward. He coached Christian Okoye. Had some of the greatest running backs of all time. I mean, it was great to coach some of the greatest running backs of all time.
It just baffles me that team never won a ring.
Neither one of them teams, but like I said, it was the misfortune. In the 80s, you had the misfortune of being in the John Elway era when it was that. I mean, late in the 80s, the AFC belonged to John Elway. Then unfortunately, you go to the 90s, the Buffalo Bills owned the 90s as far as the AFC was concerned. You get to the 2000s, and now you got to deal with the damn Patriots. You got to deal with arguably the Grist. You got to deal with the GOAT. So I mean, you had to deal with a lot of things over the course of your career. A lot of things. So yeah, it's asinine, but it's possible because guess what? You couldn't beat John Elway. Get to the 90s, you couldn't beat Jim Kelly because that team was just as talented as yours. Then you had the misfortune. Look, what's so funny about this is everything, the first half of his career is because of John Elway. When he went to Cleveland, he couldn't beat John Elway. When he got to Kansas City, he couldn't get to the Super Bowl because of who? Because of John Elway. So you had to deal with him twice.
It's if anybody like wants to go back, and this is why I like again like all these new kids that talk about stuff like Russell Wilson wasn't a dual threat quarterback. Like and people rag on like well this guy didn't win this and this guy. We can just go through history just NFL of how many great teams didn't sniff a Super Bowl or didn't win one. I mean, look at those 90s Buffalo Bills teams. I would put those 90s Bills teams against some of the great teams of all time. No joke.
They had some of the.
They just never won one. It's just
one of the greatest linebacker cores ever with Shane Conlon, Cornelius Bennett, and Darryl Talley. Just one of the.
Yeah.
Funny thing about that, you remember Nate Odoms?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah, guess where he's from? Right here in Columbus, Georgia.
There you go.
Yeah, met him before when I was a child. He rolled up into the Denali, right on Lawyer's Lane. Like, that's Nate Odoms. He said, yeah, he went to Carver. I'm like, oh shit.
It's sad too because like there's, in my opinion, he is in my opinion, arguably a top 5 running back of all time. If Buffalo wins one of those Super Bowls, not only does it change the discussion around Jim Kelly, but Thurman Thomas. Everybody forgets how good Thurman Thomas was. Thurman Thomas was Marshall Faulk before Marshall Faulk was Marshall Faulk.
Exactly. I
think Thurman Thomas with a championship is definitely in more. At the very least, he's in more top 10 all-time conversation.
I think he's top 10 already. That's just my opinion. But I'll fight that he's low top 10. So like 8, 9, 10. Like I think he just sneaks in there. But I think he was one of those rings. I think it completely changes the outlook on it, or the completely talk around his career.
I mean, shit. I mean, he won the MVP when the all-time leading rusher was in the league.
Yeah.
When the 90s was arguably the best era of running backs.
Yeah.
You had Thurman Thomas, Barry Sanders, and Emmitt Smith in the league all at the same time. And that's just the top guys.
Woo! I mean, I'm not gonna argue with you if you think Thurman Thomas is top 10, but boy, there's a lot of running backs that has top 10 claims all the time, though. So,
most valuable player in 1991, offensive player of the year in 1991, 2 first-team All-Pros, 3 second-team All-Pros, 5-time Pro Bowler, 1990s All-Decade Team, Bills Walk of Fame, 50th anniversary team. His numbers retire, consensus All-American. And again, I want to point out, this is one of the videos that I actually responded to Champs, like one of his videos, like years ago, on who the greatest backfield of all time in college is. And I think you mentioned, the USC one. I think you mentioned.
No, Cadillac. No, I said Cadillac and Ronnie.
Yeah, and I said and I said the only answer is Oklahoma State because literally the starter was Thurman Thomas and the backup was
Barry Sanders.
There is no better duo ever, and that's how good Thurman Thomas was. Is that Barry Sanders was his backup. So I just.
Talent wise, I agree with Flash. Talent wise, I agree with Flash on that one.
I think he's arguably top 10. Again, I think it's a no-brainer if he just gets one of those rings.
Let's see what we have in the comments right about now. Barry Sanders or Walter Payton?
Barry Sanders by a slim margin.
Walter Payton.
I think okay. I think my question is, what type of offense am I running?
Yeah.
So to me, the greatest running back I've ever seen is Barry Sanders. I am not quite old enough to really appreciate Walter Payton. I'm like right on, because he retired in like 88, I think 88, 89. And that's like early football memories for me. Like my first ever Packer game was 1988 against the Detroit Lions at County Stadium. Like, so those are my earliest memories. So I can't really, again, when I say the greatest running back I've ever seen, that's Barry Sanders. But if I'm running a very draw heavy run and shoot type spread offense, for lack of a better term, I'm not really like, then I'm going with Barry Sanders. If I'm running with a traditional I formation or single back, but it's more like two tight end sets and it's it's straight, straight up blocking and stuff like then I'm probably going Walter Payton, because I need Walter Payton to do multiple things. Walter Payton is the thing that everybody that doesn't talk about Walter, when they do talk about Walter Payton, they don't talk about how great his pass blocking was. Walter Payton is arguably one of the best pass blocking running backs of all time, period. So again, it depends on the offense I'm running. If I am depending on the running back a lot of protection, I am going with Walter Payton. If I'm running more of a Buffalo Bills, run and shoot, K-gun type offense, then I'm probably going with Barry Sanders. But it's real close.
So breaking news from the WNBA. The Phoenix Mercury have advanced to the WNBA finals.
They put Minnesota out?
Yes, Nafisa Koya was hurt this game, dude.
Yeah, that's right. She was. Wow. Well, shout out.
So we got it's Indiana or
Vegas against Phoenix.
Vegas against either, yeah. So yeah, boy. I would just be real. If the Phoenix Mercury make it against the Indiana Fever, it is going to be so much fucking drama in the damn NBA finals. That's how come I'm hoping that the Aces make it, because
because of DeWanna Bonner. Oh,
it's going to be so much fucking drama behind that shit. So
why?
I'm hoping that,
why?
DeWanna Bonner is with the Phoenix Mercury. She started with the Indiana. Yeah, DeWanna.
Quit on Indiana because I don't like it here because I'm. Oh yeah.
It's gonna be so much damn. People gonna be acting so damn petty. So I'm hoping that the Aces make it, man, so they can go for the dynasty, bro. I'm hoping that the Aces make it so they can go for the dynasty, because damn, gonna be so much bullshit behind that.
I will fully admit this. I'm a complete casual when it comes to the WNBA. So that's fine. I fully admit you guys are the two that follow it day in and day out. What does it mean? I know we're going a little off the cuff. What does it mean though? Let's say the Aces do make it, and what if Indiana beats them? What does that mean?
Kelsey Mitchell is the best player on that team. She's making it it's really. When you think about star power, it's literally her, Aaliyah Boston, and half the other teams, the big names are missing. Sophia Cunningham, she's out. Caitlin Clark, she's out. Sydney Colston, she's out. So a lot of the key players that was keeping that team glued together, they were out. And people are going to try to say, look, for those of you guys who are going to sit around here and say, well, they went 8-5 with Caitlin Clark. Look, let me tell you all something real quick. When the hell did we start giving people ring credit for playing 13 games? I want to know when, because if we start giving people credit for playing 6 games, then Terry Glenn should have got a ring for when they deactivated him in 2001. So cut that out and give credit where credit is due. Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston, they have been, and Odyssey Sims, I will say. So you really have to question. But like I said, it is not that they're better without. Look, there are certain players who are necessities, and there are certain players who are luxury. And if if they make it without her, and especially if they win it over the Phoenix Mercury, who is stacked, they got the best front court in the league. Not Tia Copper. DeWanna Bonner, she's going to Hall of Fame. She's coming off the bench. Been playing lights out. So if you go on the road and beat them in a 7-game series, guess what? You have to acknowledge that Caitlin is more of a luxury than she is a necessity, especially when all of your star players are out. You have to acknowledge it. It's no different than remember when Derrick Rose went out and the team kept winning with Jimmy Butler and company?
Yeah.
Or the ball. I think the better example is Boston. That year Kyrie was there and Kyrie got hurt and they went all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals.
They went all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals with a young team. So I understand. Look, I understand more than anybody what Cece has done for the WNBA. She has bought viewership like it has never been so. Viewership. A lot of these players who us hardcore fans know who they are. Guess what? The rest of the world wouldn't know them without Cece. Let's just acknowledge that. But when a team wins without you in the playoffs, and plus, look, in order for them to make it there, they have to go on the road in Las Vegas in order to beat Vegas. Now, Vegas is not like a lot of these other teams. Usually, when you go to an arena in the W right about now, it's usually about a third of them fans is Indiana Fever fans, and like a little bit, maybe half of them is the other team's fans. So it's like a mix. Las Vegas belongs to Las Vegas. And on top of that, you just beat, in order to get to the WNBA Finals, the greatest player of all time. The only player to win 4-time league MVP. You have to acknowledge she's more of a luxury than she is a necessity. Look at what happened, and we acknowledge that with every sport. I don't understand why this is such a this is not an indictment on you, Flash, because you're legitimately asking. But I don't understand why a lot of cats, when we're talking about the W, don't want to acknowledge that. When Peyton Manning lost Edgerrin James and they won without him, and they were still great years without him, even after he won the Super Bowl, they said, well, hell, they probably didn't need Edgerrin James in order to win the Super Bowl. When Stephon Diggs left the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen has one of his best seasons, wins the MVP, and they're on a roll thus far this year. Meanwhile, Stephon Diggs has been struggling. Well, on the field, not more or less off the field, but everybody has acknowledged.
He did have a good game today.
Well, today he did. I'm talking about thus far these last 2 years.
Oh yeah, he ain't been good this year so far, but yeah.
But thus far, it's been Josh Allen. Everybody acknowledges, well, he doesn't have to force feed anybody. Guess what? So it's time to have those discussions. And for those of you casuals, not talk about you, Flash, once again, I have to clear that up. For those of you casuals who are going to say, well, Caitlin Clark played 13 games. When did we start giving people credit for playing a third of the damn season? We've never done that in sports. Never. We've never done that in sport. The only reason why we give Carson Wentz that credit for that Super Bowl run that the Eagles went through is because had he not gotten hurt, we knew he would have been the MVP. So you have to acknowledge, hey, even if they get there, you had the hardest road in order to get to the NBA Finals. You had to play Atlanta, front court on demon time. Brittany Griner, Breonna Jones. Then you had to face one of the best backcourts in the league. Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray. You beat them and clinch the game-winning and clinch the series in Atlanta. Now you're going on the road, and if you clinch the series in Las Vegas, guess what? It's time to have those conversations. What do you say, BRF?
Man, if the Fever take out the Vegas Aces in Vegas in a Game 5 semifinals with a berth to the finals on the line, this might be one of the greatest WNBA playoff runs ever. When you consider how good the Dream and the Aces were during the regular season, both were heavily favored to beat them. You can make a case this is one of the best playoff runs, and if not the best playoff run in WNBA history. You can make a case. You can definitely make a case.
Yeah. So look, we gotta acknowledge it, man. I know, like I said, everyone acknowledges how great CC is. Everyone acknowledges the viewership. Everyone acknowledges that. But when teams are winning without you, hey, you have to acknowledge it. And we're not going to be giving anybody credit for playing a third of the season because she hasn't played any playoff games. She had to help clinch any playoff games. So, yeah. Like I said, we understand. Those of us who know and realize how empty those damn arenas was back when we was watching the WNBA, back when we was watching the New York Liberty play in the auditorium. Remember when they was playing in the damn auditorium, looked like one of the little youth gyms? We acknowledge that. That was made possible because Caitlin Clark was bringing in fans. But when at the same time, when teams start winning without her, especially when they are on the road clinching, Atlanta is not an easy place to play. Vegas belongs to Vegas. That's not an easy place to play. You have to start acknowledging a lot of things. And that's all my point be when I am talking about the WNBA. People always think that just because, certain other players, that people cheer for certain other players, that we don't want CC to succeed. No, that's not the case. We're going to talk about, at the same time, we're going to talk about her just like we talk about any other player in sports when they go out and a team wins without them. Hell, when Carmelo Anthony got traded from the damn Denver Nuggets, remember they went to the playoffs the first year without him. It's like, well, maybe the team's better without him. And so these conversations happen. I don't understand why a lot of cats don't understand that. That it's baffling to me when you talk on TikTok. It's just like they be fighting for their lives in the comments about the shit. They be fighting for their life. And like I said, half the damn team is hurt. Half the team is hurt. Sophie Cunningham, the enforcer, she's hurt. Caitlin Clark, hurt. Sydney Colston, hurt. McDonald, hurt. So it's basically, if one of these key players go out, that's the season. So yeah, for you to be pushing Las Vegas to the limit and everything like that, that's short of amazing. And guess what? You gotta have a lot of conversations about what's it gonna mean. Do you trade her? Hell no, you don't. That's stupid. No. So you don't do that. But at the same time, you have to acknowledge, hey, maybe you need to start building this offense more fitting to your players who you had. And like I said, I don't want to hear anybody talk about 13 games. You played 13 games, you played damn playoff series. After the All-Star break, you were out. Even before the All-Star break, you were out. So yeah, I don't hear shit.
Yeah.
Let's move forward. No, because people look, Flash, you're laughing.
No, but you're right. It is stupid. It's stupid to be like, well, one of the best players in the league. Yeah, they don't need her. Like, that's just dumb.
Yeah, this what you're laughing, but you'll be surprised how people are fighting in there. Go back to the video because I made a video about this. Go back to the video. They say, well, she still gets a rank. She went 8-5. Huh? When did we start giving people credit for playing less than half the damn season?
Again, I just was told that somebody apparently said on a sports podcast that Russell Wilson wasn't a dual threat quarterback. So what you're saying right now isn't shocking.
I mean, look, man, I done heard a lot of crazy shit. I've heard people say that Warren Moon wasn't that good. I done heard a lot of shit that I ain't even heard before. And it's asinine to me to this day. But moving forward, real quick, What division can we see putting multiple teams in the playoffs?
Okay. As far I'll go by possible divisions. I guess is what I still stand by my NFC South because now you're looking at Tampa and Atlanta. I still stand by the NFC South. I think they both can get in still. I think you. I mean the NFC East. You definitely have to say the NFC East can get multiple teams. The NFC North can definitely get. I think all four divisions in the NFC, I think could as a possibility that they could get multiple teams. All four divisions in the NFC are possible. I guess, and if you want to go to the AFC, I think the West is a possibility, and the multiple teams. The East, no. I don't think the East. No, I think the East. I think the East is the only division that's like Buffalo and everybody else. I think the West could. I'm trying to say you got the AFC South. I honestly, every division except the AFC East, I think is a possibility you can get multiple teams. I think every division in the league except the AFC East has a shot to get multiple teams. Flash. And then the South is like, and the AFC South is like, I think the Texans can recover, and I think with how the Indianapolis Colts have been playing, that kind of like boosted them a little bit. I think every division in the league except the AFC East has a possibility of multiple teams.
Flash.
I think I agree with BRF, but I also think the AFC South is a no-go. I think one team gets out of there, and that's it. I don't know which team will fall off, but it's either going to be the Colts or the Jaguars. One of them will fall off. I don't think what they're. It's weird to say this, but I trust the Colts and Danny Dimes more than I trust Trevor Lawrence right now as a quarterback when it comes to just like where I can lead a team to a playoffs, which is really scary to say. But I am of agreement that because I go let's just go through it. All right, NFC West, you got the Niners, Seahawks, and Rams, and the Cardinals. All four teams could make
punch your chance again.
What they could get in. NFC South, you got Tampa Bay and Atlanta. That's pretty much about it. NFC North, I still maintain that all four teams could squeak in. Chicago came back, they won their game. I'm not like high on them right now. I still need to see more, but they played decent the last 2 weeks. I think once Minnesota gets JJ McCarthy back and kind of gets the ball rolling again, I think they'll be fine. And Detroit's Detroit. The NFC East, you got Philly and Washington. I mean, Dallas is hanging with Green Bay right now. It's not crazy, but I don't think they will. AFC West, you got the Chargers and the Chiefs and the Broncos. 1 and 2. You're at least going to get two teams out of there. You could. The AFC South, it's the Colts and the Jaguars right now. I think the Texans are butthole, and so are the Titans. They're not going to make it. And honestly, I don't trust Jacksonville right now.
I don't count out the Houston Texans yet in that division. I don't count out the Houston Texans yet though. Because you have to look at the Indianapolis Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I think on paper they are more talented than both of them teams. They're just off to a slow start.
I agree, but how are we feeling about CJ Stroud right now?
He ain't got no damn line.
I mean, his offensive line is just doo-doo. I mean, just flat out say it. They're horrible. And I mean, you look at the offense. I mean, you still have Nico Collins. I mean, you have. You can honestly say they have a decent running back room now. Even, Nick Chubb is playing okay, but then you got Woody Marks, who had a breakout game for him today. So the running back room is decent. I love their front. I love the front seven of the Houston Texans. I'm always bullish on their front seven. And I think Derek Stingley Jr. is in conversation for best corner in football. So their talent is there.
I just think they've lost. I don't know. I'm just not. They got dude. They're 1-3 right now, and their next shit. This is their schedule. They got Baltimore next week. Then they got Seattle. Then they're in Seattle. Then they got the Niners. Then the Broncos. Then the Jags. Then the Titans. Then the Bills. Then the Colts. Then the Chiefs. Then the Cardinals. You?
But like I said, Houston. Look, as crazy as it sounds, Houston is a talented enough team. If the offensive line plays better, they could go 6-3 in that stretch.
Maybe you're right. But to continue with the AFC North, you got the Steelers. Right now, the Bengals are 2-1. They don't play until tomorrow. And then you got Baltimore, who can still rebound. They're talented enough. You still got Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, yada, yada, yada. So you have the Bengals. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. But you at least got two teams in there. And you're right about the AFC East. It's kind of Buffalo. I don't like Drake May. I'm willing to go. There you go. Dallas just went up. All right. We're going back and forth now. I'm not sold on Drake May. I'm willing to keep giving him chances right now because one, you spent the third overall pick on him. I just don't think he's the guy. I don't see it, but I'm willing to have the patience to see if he is. I'm just not sold on him yet. And I'm not really sold as New England right now as being even a wild card team right now. I didn't feel that this year going into it this year anyways. They're still another year away from just being a wild card team, in my opinion. So I think you're right.
But the thing is, the bottom of the AFC is just so blah. Anything is possible this year. When you're talking about the 5, 6, and 7 spots in the AFC, so much is possible. I'm not ruling out anything until at the very least week 10, or unless some of these teams just play so goddamn bad they just eliminate themselves before like week 8. But the bottom of the AFC is just so.
Wishy-washy.
Yeah, extremely.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a Super Bowl of bust for the Buffalo Bills.
Last year I would have said. Go ahead, Flash. No, you go ahead.
I kind of feel that way about them and Baltimore. We are out of excuses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but I wasn't gonna go. I didn't plan on going on a Lamar Jackson. I know he got hurt and he was out, but like, dude, you just can't seem to beat the Chiefs, dude. Like, you just can't. It's like you just ass when you play them. I'm sorry, but he just is. I don't know what it is. It just is. And I just don't. I'm sorry. I'm still on the train of I don't trust you in the playoffs. I just don't. And for Josh Allen, everybody is all sweet on him right now. And you got what's his face on ESPN, like, nobody's ever played the quarterback position better than Josh Allen ever. And I'm just, I hate sports commentators sometimes. I really do. But I'm still there's no excuses. The AFC stinks this year, in my opinion. I shouldn't say stinks, but it's not good. Kansas City's on the down. You got there's no excuses for Buffalo or Baltimore right now. There's just none. You are supposedly it's weird that Baltimore's 1-3, but I just don't. Yeah, I think it's Super Bowl. You got to get there. You got to at least get there. You do.
Champion, get Shayon. Get Shayon. Your ass. Your ass.
It's stupid.
I'm just saying.
This is
That's the first thing I think. You're a champion. Get Shayon. Get Shayon. Your ass. That's what.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to add any more to this topic. Flash hit it on the head, man. Yeah. Last year, I would have gave them the Super Bowl a bus pass because you're not knowing as far as what the talent around you is going to do. Yeah, you don't have that. You do not have that excuse this year if you're the Buffalo Bills. You do not have that excuse. You got to the AFC Championship game with this squad. You don't have an excuse. So yeah, it's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Just real quick. Who's more in danger of not making the CFP? Penn State or UGA?
Penn State. Because I think Georgia's a better team of the two. So Penn State.
Hey.
Yeah, the SEC still has all that, we're the SEC stuff. So it's probably Georgia, but I'm not. Look, we were all ready to throw throw Alabama under the bus at the beginning of the year.
I wasn't.
I think a lot of people were. I think I may have preemptively said whoops, maybe I think they were done. I don't know if Champ was on that train or not. I can't remember, but
I wanted them to be damn over. I would never disrespect Alabama, but I got tired of them kicking our asses, and it's just bro, I'm just being real, man. Like I said this openly admitted every year when we play Alabama. I said this even on Sports PSP. I said I'm scared. And lo and behold, my fears were realized, and it's just it came all the way down. And it's like when we play Alabama, we just forget who the hell we are. We play everybody else to just come back from it. It's like going on it's kind of like you going on a date with everybody else, but you go on a date with your crush, you just forget who the hell you are. You wear the wrong cologne, you wear the wrong shoes, wear them damn MC Hammer pants, you wear the sunglasses. You just forget who the hell you are. So it's just that's how we is as far as Georgia. When we play Alabama, we just forget who the hell we are, and we falter. That's why.
Mistakes Georgia does not make against every other opponent. They make in abundance against Alabama. It's like a mental block when Georgia plays Alabama. They should have won that game Saturday, but it's a mental block, and it's not just the players; it's the coaches. Why aren't you kicking a field goal in that situation to tie the game up? Alabama has not scored on you in the second half. They have not scored on you. They did not score a single point in that second half. Take the field goal, get another stop, kick another field goal. We're not having this discussion.
Yeah.
Yep. Real quick, who the best team in college football? Just real quick.
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Look, I ain't gonna even lie. My team is nowhere near the damn playoffs in MLB, so I just stopped watching. So,
they're my team too. Don't feel bad.
So this is where I turn it over to these two great men right here. Because look, when the Braves are winning, I'm good, and when the Yankees losing, I'm good. So I'm going to turn it over to these great men right over here, and they're going to come with you, and they're going to bring it straight to you, and they're going to bring the flair with the MLB seed sets. What are y'all predictions with the seeding right now?
All right, so let's lay out the playoff format. Okay, we'll start in the American League. Toronto won the East, best record in the league. They're the one. Seattle won the West. They're the two. They get the buys. So the wild card series, Cleveland, and it's crazy because they're both interdivisional series. The wild card series is Cleveland won the American League Central. They're the three. As a reward, they get to play the Detroit Tigers possibly 3 more times. And then we get the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox in the wild card series as the 4-5 matchup. We get the Yankees and the Red Sox in the wild card.
Yeah, talk about like a really nice wild card setup.
I love the American League wild card setup. Now, as far as the National League, Milwaukee. You heard Flash at the beginning of the show. Thank the Minnesota Twins. Milwaukee won the Central, best record in the league, got the 1 seed. Philadelphia Phillies won the East, got the 2.
Now, to be fair, Milwaukee did win today, and they would have clinched the number 1 overall seed anyways. But still, thank you, Twins, for not having for me not having to have a heart attack all day.
Exactly. So those are your 2 seeds. They get the buys in the National League. The wild card series, I think the wild card series is still a pretty good series because the 3-6 matchup is the LA Dodgers and the Cincinnati Reds. LA Dodgers are the 3 seed winning the West. Cincinnati clinched the last wild card spot today. And then the 4-5 matchup are the San Diego Padres and the Chicago Cubs. So you got two pretty good matchups. You got good matchups all the way around. If we're gonna go series by series, I guess we can go series by series. We'll start out with National League side. I have no reason to think the Cincinnati Reds are going to beat the LA Dodgers, so I got the Dodgers advancing in that series. The Padres and the Cubs. I'm gonna go Padres. I think the Padres put the Cubs out. So I think the Padres eliminate the Cubs. I do. Because I think because battle tested in the playoffs, and I trust San Diego's pitching more. So I'm gonna go Padres. So with that being said, so that gives you so San Diego is the 5 seed. They go to Milwaukee to play the Brewers. LA's the 3 seed. They will go play the Phillies. I'm picking the Brewers. Then I think the NLCS is Brewers Phillies. I think the NLCS is Brewers Phillies. I do. I really do. I think the NLCS will be Brewers Phillies, and I don't want to do it, but I gotta go. I got the Phillies winning the National League. I don't want to do it, but I got the Philadelphia Phillies winning the National League. I look at their lineup. I look at their rotation. Well, I'm being real. I look at their lineup.
I know you are. That's the problem because I actually agree with you.
Yeah, as much as I would love to see the Milwaukee Brewers do this for Bob Uecker, don't get it twisted. The Philadelphia Phillies are battle hardened. They are battle tested. I trust them more in a 7-game scenario like this with everything on the line. I got the Philadelphia Phillies winning the National League. As far as the American League is concerned, I said this in the Pod and Grind chat. I said this in our chat. I've been waiting for that team to get hot at the right time that could make a World Series run that's not a 1 or 2 seed. We finally have that in the Cleveland Guardians. They are white hot right now. They are insane the way they've been playing right now. So I have them eliminating the Tigers. I have this is the harder one to pick because it's Yankees Red Sox. Because I seriously think they are like even squads. But I'm going to go. Oh gosh. I think I'm going to go Boston. I think Boston puts the Yankees out. I think Boston. I think Boston eliminates the Yankees. I feel like the Yankees are just too. Boston's lineup is more of a playoff style lineup than the New York Yankees lineup, because the New York Yankees lineup, they are too power driven. They are too home run driven. And I think the Red Sox can play them better as far as situational baseball, small ball, moving the runner over, not having to hit home runs to beat you. And I think the Red Sox are a better lineup for a playoff setting than the Yankees. So I got Boston eliminating them. So that would mean Cleveland goes to Seattle. Boston would go to Toronto. I got Cleveland and Boston in the ALCS. I got Cleveland, Boston ALCS. Who, gosh, I seriously think it's going to be a Philadelphia Phillies Cleveland Guardians World Series. I really do. I think we finally got that wild card squad that's getting hot at the right time. That's just going to start picking people off. And I think it's the Cleveland Guardians. But I got the Philadelphia Phillies winning the World Series this year. That's what I'm going to go with. I got the Philadelphia Phillies winning it all this year.
I'm gonna just be real. Look, I want the Milwaukee Brewers to win. I will do it for the youth, man. Do it for the youth. Now, long as the Yankees don't touch the World Series, all right. But I really want that story to be do it for the youth, man. Just like, we even had a whole show named after do it for the youth. So that's what I want, man. If I'm
before
then you can.
I'll add this real quick before Flash goes. If I'm the American League, the one player I do not want to see stay on the stretch he's on, the one player I want to see get cold is Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge could do it. If Aaron Judge shows up this playoffs, he could literally do a one-man show and take the New York Yankees to the World Series. He's that good of a hitter. He doesn't always do it, but he is always the one guy come playoff time that scares me more than any other hitter. Maybe with the exception of Shohei Ohtani. Because a hot Aaron Judge is, and we've seen runs like this before. We saw Beltran, the 05 run with the Astros. We've seen individual players literally carry teams to World Series berths and championships. Aaron Judge is the one guy in the American League that absolutely petrifies me if he just hits everything in sight. So, but with that being said, I like the way Cleveland's playing as far as they have a playoffs. They have a lineup that I think could hit well in the playoffs, and their pitching, they have underrated pitching. I think they have an underrated pitching style. So yeah, I got a Philly Cleveland World Series, and I'm gonna go Phillies taking it all. I would love to see Milwaukee do it though. Don't get it twisted. That's why I think Milwaukee's gonna get to the NLCS. I just think I think Milwaukee I don't know. Because it's the Dodgers are definitely playoff driven and they're tested. But it's something about the Brewers and the style of play that I like that I think could put the LA Dodgers out. It's just something I like. Well, not the Dodgers, but it would be the Padres. It would be the Padres. I think the Brewers right now are just a better team than the Padres. I think they are. The Phillies and Dodgers. I look at the Phillies and Dodgers. Philly having home field. I mean, having to see Zach Wheeler, Chris Sanchez, Ranger Suarez, 1, 2, 3. Nah. They have the type of pitching rotation that an offense like the Dodgers hate to see, because the Phillies get swings and misses. That's why they beat the Braves 2 straight years in the playoffs. They have a lineup that can get strikeouts, that can get swings and misses, and I think that counteracts anything great about the Dodgers. Is Philly's going to make you strike out. So that's why I always look at the Phillies like that team that can just run through a really good lineup, because they get swings and misses.
Flash.
All right, American League is I think it's going to shake out. I think Cleveland beats Detroit. advances to Seattle, and I think they take out Seattle. As much as this pains me to say, I think it's a Yankees Cleveland Guardians American League Championship Series with the Yankees finally getting there. With the not finally getting there, with the Yankees getting there. I think it goes to 7 though.
Is it
over the National League? What?
Oh, my bad.
In the National League, I think the Dodgers beat Cincinnati. Like, I don't think that's even. I think that's a real quick series for them. I think Philly. I think Philly LA is going to be the best series in the whole Major League playoff.
I agree.
It'll be the best series. I think the next best series though is going to be Cubs Brewers. It's this whole season with the euchre thing and everything else, the baseball gods, it has to be Cubs Brewers.
Because again, and the Cubs are playing for Ryan Sandberg too, so I can see that.
The Cubs, it's the ghost of Ryan Sandberg and the ghost of Bob Uecker. And I hate to say this, but the Brewers are 18-20 since like August 15th. They have not been playing well at all. Now I know they've had some injuries. They're getting they're getting 2 pitchers back for their bullpen ahead of they're not playing well. And I think it's going to be, I think the Cubs are going to, I think the Cubs are going to go to the NLCS against Philly, and then Philly finally does it to the Cubs, because fuck the Cubs, 1, and then 2. Yeah, I think it's going to be Phillies Yankees World Series, which nobody's going to like, but everybody's going to watch. I am hoping that if the Brewers don't get there, that either Boston or Cleveland or Detroit gets there. One of those 3 teams I would love. If Milwaukee doesn't do it this year, I said it when we did the euchre one. If they don't do it this year with a Bible stuck up their ass, they ain't winning it ever. Like when you're gonna do it, like if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it this year. But if they don't,
and especially with 2026 coming around, I'm gonna be a homer for this. I promise you this: the Atlanta Braves are not doing 2025 again. I promise you that. I promise you that they're not having a year like this year next year. They're not.
Who are the Brewers?
The Braves.
Oh,
you're gonna have teams coming back ready for 2026 that underachieved this year. Yeah, if you're gonna do it, this might be the year to do it.
So if they don't get there at least, then I would like to see Boston, Cleveland, or Detroit. Those would be the 3 teams that I would like to see win it, because every other team, like, fuck the Dodgers. I don't care. I care less about the Reds. Philly can. San Diego, I don't really have the Cubs. Screw them. Toronto, I have like childhood evil memories of Toronto. So no. Seattle, I loved Ken Griffey Jr. as my favorite player of all time, but I just, I have no ties to Seattle above that. The Yankees, everybody wants to see them lose. And Detroit, Cleveland, and Boston, they're all, I've also been to those 3 stadiums too. So there's also a little bit of a tie that way. So I just love it. But I look, baby Jesus, can we please just can we just do this, please? Baby Jesus, can the Brewers just do this? I mean, they would be America's darlings if they can pull this off, especially if it's against like the Yankees or something like that. I just want to say, if it ends up being Milwaukee and the Yankees, and the Brewers finally win a World Series, and it's against the New York Yankees, I don't think, I'm just going to say this. It's going to be weird, but I just want you guys to know that it's just weird. That'll probably be the best orgasm I've ever had in my life, is if the Milwaukee Brewers beat the New York Yankees in the World Series.
Damn. You could have at least said it. You could have at least said if they gave you Gianna Michaels. Damn.
No.
Whoa,
I don't think I don't know. That will, I can't describe what that would be like if the Milwaukee Brewers beat the New York Yankees in the World Series to finally win a ring. I can't describe. I just can't. It would just be like, I don't know. I can't even put it into words. It would be like a childhood dream would come true. It would just be like pure
Ecstasy.
Yes.
Okay, I have a question since we're talking about the Yankees. If they don't win again this year and Judge doesn't have a good World Series, is that further indictment on him at this point?
Yes, it is.
yes, yeah, absolutely.
Playoffs. Nope.
That cements him as arguably the greatest front running baseball player ever.
So yeah, I mean, look, in order to be held in regard with the captain and some of the great players up there, you gotta win that series, bro.
He's got to get one event. He's got to, if he wants to be up there with the Jeters, the Marianos, the Pettits, the great Yankees of all time that have won championships. If he wants to be in the upper echelon, he got to get one.
I hope he doesn't, and I hope it's that. I hope.
I did not realize how big that dude was.
6'7", 282, 6'7", like 282. He's huge.
Damn.
Yeah, he's like huge. Bigger than dude. He's bigger than Frank Thomas, and Frank Thomas.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And Frank Thomas wishes he had his athleticism because he's a freaking outfielder.
Yeah. I just look. I'm. Dude, the way that they're playing right now, I just don't trust Milwaukee. They've just kind of gone cold, and
I just don't trust whoever wins between the Padres and the Cubs to go into Milwaukee and just I don't trust either one of them.
If it's the Padres, I'm not really that worried. I feel like Milwaukee could win that series. If it's the Cubs, that series scares me.
They have the offense. I will give you the Cubs have the offense to go in there and beat Milwaukee. I'll give you that. They have the offense.
It's not even about like, do they have the offense or do they have the defense or the pitch? Sorry, the pitching, the bullpen. Like, it's not even that. It's just, as a Brewers fan, you are scared to death of that series. Because then for the next generation, you got to hear it every single time from those fucking Cubs fans. Every time they come up here to Milwaukee. That's why that series scares me. Because every time we go to a bar or anytime, like, they're the most obnoxious a-holes ever.
Cubs fans?
They are suffering.
Hey, as a Braves fan, that's how I feel about a lot of Philadelphia Phillies fans because of what they did to us. Because of what they did to us in 22 and 23. That's how I feel. And honestly, if you go back to the 93 NLCS, we haven't, like, the last 3 times we faced the Phillies in the playoffs, they've beaten us. So it's like
the 3 fan bases that I've been to a lot of sporting events. The 3 fan bases I've always had a problem with, it's Phillies, Eagles, Cubs, 49ers. Those are the 4 franchises that I've almost gotten into literal bar brawls or fights at Lambeau because of dude. I'm telling you, the Cubs fans, dude, that series scares the living. I'll lose to Philly I'd rather lose to Philly if I had a choice. But like, I'll lose to the Dodgers. That's just whatever. I mean, it sucks because it's the Dodgers and they just blow money like they're, what they just spend more than everybody else, and it's just annoying. And I could lose to San Diego because they're a small. I mean, I know San Diego's not a small market team, but they are a small market team at the same time. I'd be okay with losing to Cincinnati, small market team, whatever. But the Cubs, no, that's like dude. That would have been like losing the NFC Championship game in 2010 to the Bears.
Ooh.
That's why that game. I remember when that game happened. That game was so important because then you have shit talking rights for the next generation. You do. Because if you're a Packers fan, let's say that you go back to that game. If you're a Packers fan, you go and you're like, "Oh, we've owned you for the last 30 years," and blah blah blah. And all Bears fan had to do, but he's like, "Well, 2010, we whipped your ass to go to the Super Bowl." Mm-hmm. The argument's done. It's over with. There's nothing you can do. And I don't want to hear that from Cubs fans. I don't ever want to hear that. It's why, and only things like the 3-0 comeback by the Red Sox break stuff like that. It's why Yankees fans can't really talk shit to Red Sox fans anymore. Because you can say, you can be like, Yankees have won. Yeah, well, you know what? We came back 3-0 on your ass.
Well, not and not just that. The Yankees only have that one championship in 2009. The Red Sox won in 2004. They won in 2007. They won 2014. They won 2018. The Red Sox have like 4 championships.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm scared to death of that series. I'm scared to death of that series. But I'm just baby Jesus, please, just please.
Hey, moving forward, real quick, before we get to the last two. Who are your baseball award winners? We'll start with you, Flash.
I'm just gonna speak on MVP right now. So I think in any normal season it would go to Aaron Judge. But I think he doesn't win because of just Aaron Judge fatigue. And I think the kid from I think the catcher from Seattle wins the MVP.
Cal Riley.
I think he wins it. I think this is one of those. Yeah, we could give it to Judge, but one of those things.
Okay, we'll start. Okay, because I have MVP, Cy Young, and Rookie of the Year up. So we'll go MVP first. AL,
and then I think in the NL, I think it's Ohtani hands. It's going away.
Yeah. Ohtani's got National League locked. There's not even a debate. I mean, like 50 homers, 100 RBIs, but then he came back to pitch. He's got a 2.87 ERA. Like, just no. Yeah, that's over with. American League. This is like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen all over again, because it's like, do you give it to the best? Do you give it to the best player, or do you go by the letter of the law? Because if you're going by the letter of the law, it's Cal Riley. Yeah. Because the Seattle Mariners without him are not the 2 seed in the American League. They're not. And then you look at Aaron Judge. I mean, the Yankees got into playoffs, but they were in the playoffs, but like Aaron Judge's numbers are like, don't get me wrong, they're still insane, because I mean it's like 330. Let's see, I'm trying to remember, 331 batting, 458 on base, 691 slugging, like 53 homers, 114 RBIs. I mean, just don't get me wrong. Like, I think right now, I mean, he's clearly the best player in the American League. He's clearly the best player in the American League. But I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna vote. I think you, as much as you want to say they might have Aaron Judge fatigue, I don't see it, because even though Cal Raleigh's got, I mean, he's got the 60 homers, he's got the 125 RBIs. I mean, 60 homers is insane. It's insane. Like, we ain't seen 60 since Judge. It's crazy. But even still, like, Aaron Judge's numbers are like right there, but then he also has the batting average, and then the runs, the hits, everything. I think they're gonna give it to Judge again. I think Judge is gonna win it, but I think if you're going by the letter of the law, Cal Raleigh should win it. But I think Judge is gonna win it.
All right.
Okay.
Is there a boxing super fight that can be made right now after Canelo and Crawford? I think there's one on the women's side. It'll have to be a catch weight, though. I think Amy and Carissa, if they could do a catch weight and meet in the middle, I think they could be a good one.
Who?
Amy and Carissa Shields? Amy Baumgartner and Carissa Shields?
Oh, Alicia Baumgartner.
Yeah, Alicia Baumgartner.
Alicia Baumgartner. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yes. For women's boxing, yes, that's the super fight. But I think there's one in women's MMA as well. But that's if, and I think they've already talked about it. It's Amanda Nunes and what's that Kayla girl's name? God, I can't remember her last name. But she just won. She just won the championship in her division. I can't remember her last name. God, I'd have to look that up. Well, I can't look it up. But I think they are like the MMA women's super fight. So, but yeah, I think the biggest super fight out there is probably Alicia Baumgartner and Clarissa Shields.
Yeah. Flash.
No. I just don't see, like, there's like a big time fight and a super fight, and I just don't see one in boxing at all. And that makes me sad. And MMA, no, we don't have, like, I don't know. I just don't see one that like, because to me a super fight is like a culturally important fight. Like, it brings in the casuals.
There's one in men's MMA, but they're not going to make it.
With
John Jones and Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, that's it.
But you money is hell when it comes to talking as far as these fighters, and just that's the super fight out there, but I don't think they're gonna make it.
I don't understand why that's such a damn hell, because the thing is, that's what I loved about the great Don King. That's what I loved about Bob Arum. That's what I loved about the traditional promoters. I don't give a damn how much money it's going to cost me. I know I'm going to get my $10 million in either way. That's minimal for a promoter. And that's if I don't put it in a large arena so everybody could really, really watch it. That's if I don't put it in a large arena. Can you imagine Francis Ngannou and John Jones in Cowboy Stadium?
I think what killed that fight was Jones getting in trouble again.
Mm-hmm.
Got in trouble again?
Yeah, he got in trouble. What? Like it came out that the police report that he DUI again or hit another hit.
DUI. I think it was DUI again.
So like or something. He did something stupid again, and right after that, he said he retired. And then it just,
Then he didn't want to fight the other guy.
But I think it was that, but I think what initially put it on the table was Dana White didn't want to pay Francis Ngannou.
That too, but I mean, at the end of the day, he would have paid him. I think. I just because right now the UFC has no. They have no. I mean, they have John Jones. Don't get me wrong, but they have no massive stars.
He doesn't. I'm going to say they don't have any right now because he don't fight enough. He don't fight enough.
Jones?
I mean, he don't. I mean, he'll come back, fight, get in trouble again, get out of that, come back, fight, get in trouble again.
He's their only big draw right now.
What? Yeah, he is.
But
they need somebody consistent. They need somebody more consistent though. They ain't got nobody right now.
They don't have the problem is they don't have anybody. There's nobody on like a Connor level or Silva or even Nunez at some point. But as great as Nunez was, you know, oh my God, why am I blanking on her name? Ronda Rousey. Yeah, there's no Ronda.
Question real quick.
What's up?
Just real quick. Outside of the NFL, and I'll say outside of the NFL, I'll say because everybody's going to know who the hell the NFL and the college players are. Outside of the NFL, are we in the age where the mega superstar is pretty much over at this point?
I think for a while, yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
I actually think that we've seen a. I was actually thinking it's funny you asked. I was thinking about this earlier. The lack of stars right now. I even look at it in the NFL. I don't think this current crop. I've said it before. Like I don't think this current crop of quarterbacks sniffs the generation prior. And like I think part of it is because we are in an age of social media. And everybody has got their like I've always said, like we'll never see another Michael Jackson or Beatles, or like the closest thing we have right now is Taylor Swift, and she doesn't even come close to what Michael Jackson and the Beatles were.
Yeah, exactly. Taylor Swift is still like at least 2 tiers below them.
Yeah, and that's saying something. So like when it comes to like the mega star at this point, when it comes to, it's just so hard now because social media and the internet is just you're pulled in again. This goes back to like a little bit more of a social political thing too. People are more worried right now on how to put food on the table. They don't have time to worry about a lot of this stuff, unfortunately. So that's another facet of it too. And I don't. And then like I said, now you don't have. There's not a lot of like y'all remember when like Barry Bonds was like chasing Hank Aaron and doing like you had to sit down like he was must-see TV. Like there was no seeing a highlight, like you had to see it live type thing. Name another athlete like that right now where you have to be home. Like there's no like, oh, I'll just watch the highlights later on YouTube or I'll catch up with the news on TikTok. Like, you know, name an athlete currently right now or you know that's must see. Like you have to be in your living room or at your computer watching it live. There isn't one.
There isn't one right now
that I can think of.
There isn't one. I mean, you'll have in the past few years, we've had like guys that have had like amazing individual seasons, and you would like tune in like if they're about to break a record, like when Aaron Judge broke Maris's American League record. You can go back to Acuna 2023 when he was going for the steals, like the 60 steals, 70 steals, but like outside of like individual stuff like that, there ain't been one that's like kept your attention like day in and day out. It's just Nah, we're past like. And the thing I hate about it though, I feel like the sport I feel that could do that, but their marketing sucks, is Major League Baseball. They have so many young prime candidates that could be something like that, but they don't market them.
Ohtani? There's an argument. He's the best baseball player to ever walk onto a field.
I think he is the most. I think he is the most talented. I think he's the most talented to ever walk on the field.
I don't even think it's like. I think like I've always.
It's not even a debate. It's not even a debate.
I always said it was like Babe Ruth with Barry Bonds a close second. I think
Ohtani's passed both of them in terms of sheer talent.
He just is. He pitched way. He's already pitched way more than Babe Ruth ever did. And
I don't think. Go ahead.
I don't know if he's as good as a hitter as Bonds was late in his career, but he's damn close. He's
not as good a hit. He's not as good a hitter as Bonds was late in his career.
But
he's probably the closest we've seen since. But even still, he's still 2 tiers below Bonds as a hitter.
Yes.
Because the thing.
But he should be a megastar. He should be a megastar.
He should.
Should be.
He should. I feel like Major League Baseball has like a handful of. I feel like even more than him, they got at least a handful of guys that if they were to promote and market, could be megastar.
I got a question.
Okay.
We've asked this question before about the NBA. Is it because he's not American?
Partly, yeah. Oh, that's definitely got something to do with it. Because there's a language barrier. Absolutely, that has something to do with it. Absolutely.
I think that's part of the problem. I think, like the NBA right now, who's your American star right now?
Anthony Edwards.
And
American star, like best American player.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards.
Hold on. Let me retool that question a little bit. Who is the greatest American athlete currently playing right now? Star.
Talking about sports, period.
Yep. Star.
Josh Allen.
What?
Josh Allen.
Nah, it's Mahomes. Nah, it's Patrick Mahomes. It's Patrick Mahomes. I mean, in terms of being good, and then like you attach everything to him, it's Patrick Mahomes. It's still Patrick Mahomes.
And he's the greatest American sports star right now.
You have to say that. You have to say that right now.
I
mean, you have him. I'll say this: you have him. You have, and if you want to look at all sports. You have him and Josh Allen. I will put Allen in that conversation. Baseball's probably Judge. Basketball is probably as much as I want to say Anthony Edwards, I think when everybody's healthy, the best American player is probably Jason Tatum.
Yeah, but he's not a megastar. He's not a star.
But if we're talking greatest athletes,
well, that's different. We're talking about pure star. Like, are you
megastar? Like when you're
but Anthony Edwards really ain't even that yet. He's just cocky. He just cocky with it. He ain't even there yet.
That's what I'm saying. Like there are megastars. Like
NBA doesn't have an American megastar.
I don't think. I don't even think. I mean, Mahomes is kind of there, but to me, when you're a megastar, you're worldly.
I don't think America has one. If you're gonna say that, then America doesn't have one.
Because
they don't have one.
Mahomes star wise is nowhere near what Brady was. I'm talking about just
no.
I'm talking about the aura itself.
Yes,
was crazy.
The aura
The
itself,
aura itself was crazy.
Like there's
I don't think not just Brady. I don't think Mahomes touched Peyton Manning at his peak in terms of stardom.
I agree.
I don't think he touches Peyton Manning in terms of mega stardom.
Nope. And in like
we
a
all
pop
agree
culture sense, no, I completely understand. Agree.
Can we just all agree on one thing? Sorry to cut you off, Flash.
You're
I
good.
apologize. Can we just all agree with sports was bigger before social media? Can we just all agree? Because the thing is, social media gave us more of a platform in order to talk about sports a little bit more. But we had more megastars before the social media age than we do now. During our age,
it shouldn't be like that though.
No, during our age, as far as talent, as far as being a megastar, as far as aura, during the last decade before this new crop of quarterbacks, we had the top five. We lived through the top four quarterbacks of all time, probably. If we wanted to say that, we probably could. Brady, Peyton, Rodgers, and Drew Brees.
Yes.
And well, I'm old enough to say Montana. I got to experience Montana too. So I mean, like
I'm talking about if somebody like during the generation previously, if they was born in the year 2000 and they just now turned like 25, if they say I grew up during the greatest era of quarterbacks, they probably could say that.
I'll put it here. I'll put Allen Iverson has more star power than any American NBA player currently right now.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Facts.
Not even close. That's how lacking American stars we are right now. And that's not a dig at Allen Iverson. I'm just saying on a pure cultural star level, there is nobody right now, even on AI's level.
That's why I say Allen Iverson. If there was a Mount Rushmore of NBA players in terms of like cultural impact and influence, AI's in my Mount Rushmore. In terms of influence, AI's in my Mount Rushmore.
100%. So I look at right now, just even in American sports in general, I don't see anybody right now that, again, Mahomes is possibly the closest, but I don't consider Mahomes like a worldly global star.
He's not.
He's not. And because there has to be a weird level that you have to surpass being hated on. You have to surpass this, like I'll put it this way. When Brady won his fifth, no offense, I know I bring the Super Bowl. When he won the fifth one against Atlanta, everybody that even hated his guts was finally, even I remember I got a text from my dad, hates Brady's guts. And he just went, all I got was a text was, fuck, he's good. And that was it. And once you are past the haters, once the haters can't even hate you anymore, you are on another level when it comes to stardom. You have surpassed. And Mahomes, everybody hates his guts. So like you can't be a star when everybody hates you.
Nah, and I still can't stand Tom Brady for that shit. Got to freaking defend Matt Ryan tooth and nail for being a Hall of Famer because of his ass.
Was that a fumble?
No, they just got that damn kick to the damn 50-yard line.
Yeah.
Now it's up to you, Pat. Now it's up to you, Dak. Dakota.
Mika, Dakota.
And he just threw a pick.
I did not know it.
No.
He got my interception.
Okay.
It was close.
It makes me sad. Also very thankful that I think that since 1980, I've gotten to live through the last 45 years of sports or so, 43 years. I'm 43 years old. So for last 40, well, it'd be 45 because I was born in 82. But since 1980, I've gotten to see most of it. And I feel extremely blessed and that I got to see the greatest ever of the NBA and the greatest ever generation of quarterbacks ever.
I'm fortunate. I got to see
I
the
think.
greatest of all time in every sport. I got to see the greatest in the NBA, the NFL, the damn NHL. I got to see Wayne Gretzky play for every team he ever played for. I'm like, I don't have to go to YouTube. I saw this shit before. When my niece and nephew, hey, have you ever seen this guy? I'm like, look, sit your ass
in person.
And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this one time only for everybody to hear me. They can like it, they can don't like it. I don't care. I'm standing 10 toes down on this. The steroid era is still to this day the greatest era of baseball.
Again, it's must see TV.
Nobody's gonna change my mind. That 98 home run chase with McGuire and Sosa is like one of the greatest things I've ever seen. I think that era from like 98 to like 07 when the Mitchell report came out, ain't nobody gonna tell me you saw better. No one's gonna tell me there was better baseball than those years.
No, I agree.
You're not. Yeah, no one's gonna change my mind on that.
Now we waiting on this damn Dallas game to end. Let's see.
And they just scored. George Pickens is killing these boys.
There's so much for this fucking Packer defense all of a sudden. Now, don't get me wrong, Dallas.
Yeah. But this Packer defense just took a couple notches down, boy. Because Dallas is eating them alive.
I wouldn't celebrate too much. There's still 43 seconds left on that clock, and they're only down by. They could tie this game up real easily.
He playing like
Because this is still the Dallas defense.
Hey, Dallas gonna be talking some shit in the morning if they win. Let me tell you, believe you me.
And you know what I'm gonna tell them Dallas fans? You gave up almost 500 yards to Russell Wilson. Shut your mouth.
Look, dude, if Dallas holds on here, this saves their season.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a big difference between 2-2 and 1-3.
You can legit talk about them like playoff contenders if they win the game.
Yeah. Because their offense right now, you gotta remember, CD's not playing tonight. Their offense could be on the level of what Cincinnati was last year. That's how much talent they have.
Yeah, let me look at the box score because they're going touchdown.
All the defense has to do is just be like average. It's terrible. But if they can just get to average.
Damn good. They asked the entire game. So much for all them sacks by Micah Parsons. He's gonna get about 8 sacks.
Yeah, I know. I said if he didn't get 3 tonight, I'd be disappointed, boy. Yeah, you can let that go.
Dak, this is some best football I've seen him play. This is some hellified football that he's playing. Can't take anything away from him.
Again, dude, the hate that dude has gotten is if we're in the era pre-internet social media era, he gets nowhere near the hate.
I just think I'm just gonna be real. People hate him because of one reason only. Because he played for that.
He's a quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
That's it. You're right.
That's the only reason. If he played for, let's say, the Atlanta Falcons or somebody like that, he wouldn't get nearly as much hate.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
So I mean, it's like he would not get nearly as much hate.
Ooh, get out of bounds. Woo.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Come on, J-Love.
All right, damn.
All right, yeah, midfield already. Another 25 yards ish. 20, 25, 20, about 20 yards.
Tick.
Hey, they got all 3 timeouts too, by the way.
Tick.
Don't make a stupid throw. That's it. Don't take a sack either. Phew.
It's the last 30 second. Look, last 30 seconds of an NFL game when it's like this, is that more exciting than the last 30 seconds of last 10, 15 seconds of the NBA game when the other teams got the ball? You only know they need to go ahead 3 in order to win it.
Oh, it's close. It's
Yeah.
close. It depends on the situation.
Yeah, it depends on.
Like it's a 2-minute drill more exciting than like a 30-second play where they have to do some things.
Yeah, I definitely do think the 2-minute drill is the most exciting thing in sports.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way. We talked about the 2014 Super Bowl a little bit earlier. I did. I don't think I've ever had my emotions so messed with during a game, and during the last, I'll just say the fourth quarter, but the last 3 minutes of that football game, I was so stressed out. Oh my God. And then for
the entire fourth quarter of the 2022 Natty, Bama and Georgia, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm not gonna lie. The biggest heart attack game that I ever seen was when we played Oklahoma during Baker Mayfield's High.
The Rose Bowl, yes.
That game, literally, I literally want to reach through that TV and choke the veins out of Kirby Smart's neck. Choke the veins out of his neck for some of them. Because remember, the first half, we was down 20. We was down 20-3. Like, Kirby Smart, what the hell are you doing?
The Georgia came back and beat Oklahoma by just simply running the ball. That's how elite the running game was. They beat them running the ball. Most teams get down like Georgia did. They be throwing the ball like 60 times. Georgia's like, nah, we just gonna keep running the ball. You ain't gonna stop it. And shit, if they didn't.
Hell, had Jalen Hurts kept playing in the national championship, we win that game.
Oh, we would have ran away with that game if Jalen Hurts had kept playing. Yeah, but yeah, biggest heart attack games for me is probably both Alabama, Georgia national championship games. I would go 98 NFC title game because I didn't think we have a chance of hell of beating Minnesota, but I was just hopeful. What else? I ain't gonna lie. The NLCS and the World Series run, the 2021 Braves. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, heart attack. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
I gotta ask, because it's different from my perspective. What was it like experiencing that Super Bowl from your guys' perspective?
You know which one he's talking about.
Yeah.
No, I'm just asking because you could be talking about the 98 Super Bowl.
No. 98 was a blowout. He talking about 51.
What was that? What was that?
Look, I'm not gonna lie. It was a little bit of yes, but a little bit of I don't know. For me, I can honestly say that was how it felt for me.
Like, what do you mean by that?
It's like yes, but it's like, wait a fucking minute. We're playing Tom Brady. Let me sit my ass down. And you're kind of like, no, I'm serious.
I'm
like, look, and I was telling people, hey, man, people was calling me, talk about this and that and the third. I'm like, hey, man, you need to stop calling me and shut the fuck up because this is Tom Brady we're talking about. I said, look, I told a friend of mine, I said, look, we got to score 35 points in order to win this game. We got to score 35 points in order to win this game. Because if not, I don't think 28 is going to be enough to win this game. It was just it was like I said, when you're a Georgia sports fan, it's a lot of heartbreak around it. So you're on the edge, you're excited, but you're not sure. It's like it's it's kind of like being in a bad relationship, with somebody. It's kind of like, you acting right this time. I'm like, wait a minute. Now your ass slick. You got tricks up your sleeve. So it's just like
Dude.
you drawn it in, but at the same time, you're not sure. It's like doing the World Series run. It's like, yeah, you're drawn in, but I'm not sure. It's like, damn, I'm drawn in. I'm excited they might win, but I'm like, wait a minute. Even during the national championship game, it was like that when we finally won the Natty. And that's like I said, look, that's like I said in the second year, they's like, this is gonna be a good game between us and TCU. I said, look, man, I need for this to be a blowout. I don't need another heart attack game this year.
Talking about the Georgia TCU game?
Yeah, and one of my guys told me this is gonna be a good game.
I ain't gonna lie, I knew that was gonna be a blowout.
I said, I need for this to be a blowout. So
I knew that game was gonna be a coordination game. I knew TCU did not stand a chance. They did not stand a chance. I don't know why, but just something in my bones was like, TCU's a feel good story. I'm glad they got there. Shout out to the program. Georgia's about to destroy them. This is going to be a coordination game for Stetson Bennett. I knew that game wasn't going to be close. Now, as far as your question, Flash, you want to know when I knew? You want to know when I kind of had a feeling that we were going to lose that game? You want to know which play in particular I knew we were going to lose that game? Champ, you might hate this answer. When Julian Edelman made that catch.
That's a valid answer.
When Julian Edelman made that catch, I looked and I said, ain't no freaking way we hold this lead. You don't let a catch, something's about to happen. You don't let a catch like that go down and you regain momentum and you go on to win that game.
I take that back. It does happen. In 2014, it happened because you had that bippity boppity. I call it the bippity boppity boo catch. The one where hits it up and it just lands right in what's his face's chest, and you're dude.
Yeah, the Super Bowl where I think Kurt made that catch. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
And
he makes that catch and then he throws the pick the next play, and then he throws the pick the next play.
Well, it wasn't the next play because then you had the run. The next play was the run by Marshawn Lynch that got it down to the 1. I know that sequence like the back of my hand.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then the next play is the pick. And
how I still say to myself, you have Marshawn Lynch, and honestly, and this is what I'll say: that Super Bowl and the Falcons Super Bowl were very similar from the standpoint that I hate to say this. The New England Patriots defense wanted nothing to do with either one of those running games, but yet neither team would run the ball to save their life to ice or win the game. Like, what are we doing? You have Marshawn Lynch on the 1 yard line. Give it to him. You have no reason to think New England's going to stop him because they have not stopped him. Why aren't you running the ball? And then come to find out you run the one play where Malcolm Butler studied you and knew was about to go down and jumped the right route and got the interception. And then as far as the Falcons were concerned, it's like they weren't like destroying them with the run, but when you consider Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman was the best backfield in the league that year, how are you not running the ball?
The thing that changed that whole the play that doesn't get talked about, that to me changed the trajectory of the whole Atlanta offense, is when Tevin Coleman goes out for the game. 2 plays later. Two plays later, the Dante Hightower strip sack happens.
Yes.
Tevin Coleman was the pass blocking back of the two of
them.
He
was the better pass blocking back. Yep.
And that changed everything in that game, and nobody talks about it. And that's it was funny. I always when I have the fantasy football league that I've been in for like 20 years. I always had the party here, and so I always have like old football games like playing on all the bar TVs. And I had that game, and I taught. It was like right around that time. I'm like, watch, and that's what happens, and that changes everything about that game. It's those little plays that nobody talks about that change a whole thing. I genuinely, it's just so weird because I've only seen like the YouTube videos of like all the Falcons fans, like hooting and hollering, and all of a sudden just the whole mood changes. It just that was one of, again, I gotta say, I'd say from 1980 to 2022, 2023, the greatest era in sports ever. Like, look at everything. Look at all, like, I need to go back and like look at like the greatest moments.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Like, we
so
should
many.
do a show one of these times. What we think are the, I think I mentioned this. Did we do it or did we not do it?
Like, you've mentioned it. I don't think we've done it yet, but you've mentioned it.
I want to do like the top 10 greatest sports moments of all time. Like, just dedicate one show to that. And like all three of us come with our list, or even top 15, top 20, like, because it is so many, like top 20 or something like that. Because I'd say from 1980, man, you got so many things that have happened. I mean, and I'm not even talking about just the major four. I'm talking about like horse racing and like, boxing, MMA.
Smarty Jones. Remember Smarty Jones, the rain that day he had as the horse race? Smarty Jones.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, we've just had so many cool moments. Like, dude, there was a string of Super Bowls in a row that was just insane. We've seen the Red Sox break the curse. We've seen the Cubs break the curse. Like,
we saw the Rays break the curse.
Yeah.
Saw Georgia finally win. Seen the SEC have an unprecedented run in college football. I mean, it's so like
we saw Tiger Woods arguably going the greatest run of dominance in golf history.
We got to experience Michael Jordan. We got to experience the Dream Team, like the original Dream Team. Like,
exactly.
Like, I don't like. Not to mention we're old enough to experience Jack Nicklaus. Like you talk about golf, like we still got to experience Jack Nicklaus. Like that's still late 80s. We just caught the end of his career, but dude, we got to see the greatest running backs of all time. Like, we got to see the Niners dynasty. We got to see the Yankees dynasty. As much as I hate that Jeter and Mariano like dynasty, that was such a cool thing to experience and watch. We got to see the Cowboys dynasty, the Patriots dynasty, we got to experience Wayne Gretzky. We got to experience the Bills 35-3 comeback. We got to experience the Music City Miracle. We got to experience.
We got to see the Kurt Warner led Rams.
Yeah, the grocery store clerk. Like we got to see. Oh my God. We got to see
an actual plumber won the Super Bowl.
What would you say?
An actual plumber won the Super Bowl.
Yep. Was he out or in? Oh, he's in.
Jesus Christ.
Barely. Oh, what a throw by Dak.
I think I'm behind y'all.
Jalen, who's won? That's Jalen Tolbert. Good God, what a catch.
Great job of bailing out your quarterback coming back to the ball. I mean, let's see. I mean, I'm young enough to know. Like
we got the 2001 baseball season as a whole.
Yeah, that was a hell of a season.
We got to see stuff like the '94 strike, dude. And this, so now this is going to sound strange when I say this, but we got to experience like watching the NBA Finals and then watching the Bronco chase at the same time.
Yeah,
like, and I'm not trying to make light of that. I'm just saying, like, I don't.
Yeah, it was a very strange time because you didn't know which one to pay attention to.
No, I will never forget that day. I was watching the NBA Finals, and I was at my grandparents' house. My dad was there, and I remember walking into the kitchen and going, "Dude, they're chasing OJ right now on the TV." And we all went because I used to watch everything in my grandparents' bedroom, and either that or down in the basement. But like I was in the bedroom that time, and we literally sat in their bedroom for the next like 4 hours. And didn't get up. And it was one of those like everybody gathers around television. Like the stuff that we've gotten to experience is just crazy.
Yeah,
just
I never forget, bro.
What
a personal like this is like a story time. I never forget, man. My mom, coming away from school, I think people don't give our generation credit for kind of growing up a little bit too fast because of television. Because I will remember this, the afternoons was for afternoon cartoons, Fox Kids, WB, stuff like that. During that entire OJ trial, I did not watch a single fucking cartoon. I did not watch a single fucking cartoon during that trial. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but I was sitting there watching, taking notes, trying to figure out what was going on.
It was interesting and real interesting. So my grandfather was a former judge. So I was asking him during that whole trial, I was asking him what's this, what's that? Because I was still in middle school. I was 94, 95. So I was still in middle school. So I don't, we've lived through some weird, like I said, just sports in general. Like,
yeah,
we
lived through, almost saw another undefeated team outside of the 72 Dolphins.
I mean, to bring up like another bad thing, but like, I mean, do you remember how crazy the Michael Vick thing was when he got?
Oh my gosh!
Like
when he got in trouble, yes.
Yeah, like dude, that was nuts. Like that was crazy.
It was real tense around Georgia during that time.
Oh, I bet.
It was real tense because I really didn't
know. Especially around 2008 in the draft, where so many people were like, "Do we wait on Vic? Do we take Matt Ryan?" And it's like, yeah, go. And I thought about it first. I'm like, you know what? Because I was one of those. Boy, let me tell you something. I don't think there were too many bigger Michael Vick fans than me, like at his peak in Atlanta. Because I was one of those. I was like, man, he's gonna win one. I was one of those like he's gonna win one before Peyton Manning. It's because at the time I felt like how they were building that team is like I'm like, man, he's gonna mess around. I think he's gonna get one before Peyton. But then Peyton got his in 06 and then all that stuff happened. So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, do we wait on him or do we just go ahead and just cut the ties? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah. Because at the time it was either Matt Ryan or Glenn Dorsey. And I remember that. Do we take Matt Ryan or do we take Glenn Dorsey? And I'm like, you know what? Let's take Matt Ryan. We need to go ahead and close that chapter. Let's go ahead and take Matt Ryan. Let's move on. I'm glad they did it. No championship or not, I'm glad they did it because that's like the most relevant we ever were as a franchise after we drafted him. It was crazy.
I was a huge fan of his when he was at Virginia Tech, and I remember, dude, look at the Aaron Hernandez thing, the Ray Lewis thing.
Yeah,
I mean. Yeah,
I actually wrote a report.
The Manti Te'o situation.
Darren Sharp. No, dude. that Manti Te'o thing, I'm telling you right now, I thought he was going to be a way better player than he was. I think that ruined his career.
That ruined his career.
I think it ruined him mentally.
It ruined him mentally.
I have no evidence to say that, but I just feel that just ruined that kid. I mean, the crazy things that have the Mark Chmura thing. That's a local. You guys, that wasn't local, but when he went.
I think I remember the Mark Chmura situation.
You don't remember?
I think I do.
He was caught at an underage prom party alone in the bathroom with one of the high schoolers.
Really? So
Yeah.
that's what happened to him. I always remember what happened to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he does local radio here now, but that was a massive story because like he got acquitted of it, but because there was really that was one of those moments. But like that happened.
You saw Michael Irvin with the mic on.
Yeah, Michael Irvin, Brett Favre with the pain pill addiction. That was a big thing. That was more local, but that was a national sports news story too. Like, the rise in the discussions around concussions.
Yep.
I just out of curiosity, greatest moments.
Yeah, speaking of that, it's still okay.
Are we gonna take it off the air, guys? Y'all good?
Yeah.
All right, then. Thank you for joining us, man.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah. Before I leave, thoughts and prayers. We are Michigan strong. We love you, Michigan.
Yeah.
We love you.
I'm
And on that note, we'll take it off the air, guys.
Yeah.